sleepy town settled for the night, where every lawn is tailored just right, and it's about time that the back porch light comes on. At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal.
My hair is so greasy. I didn't wash it yesterday because I was like, oh, well, it's just gonna be under a wig, so let me just...
I did not see any of your photos, so I gotta go check those out. What did you dress up as?
Just a vampire witch. Like, I just recycled a costume from last year. So this was kind of like a last minute thing. Our friends Leo and Leash sent us the invite. And then me and Avi were grabbing lunch yesterday, and we're like, we haven't done anything like Halloween themed. We're not having a party this year. Should we go to that pub crawl? So we went, but we didn't realize like an hour before we had to leave, we put together a whole bed frame.
Yeah.
I reorganized his entire closet, and then I had just like laid down on the bed for like a minute. I was like, okay, I have like an hour before we have to go. Let me just chill for a minute because I'm exhausted. We like hauled ass all day on our bedroom, right? Avi comes in an hour before we have to leave. He's like, this says costumes required. And I'm like, what? So now we have to like scramble for a costume.
Oh man.
I was like, okay, I got this. I know where all of the Halloween, like the wigs and like the old costumes from the previous years, I have them all in a tote downstairs in the basement. I'll just go grab a wig and then I'll pull something from my actual closet up here. I'm like digging around stuff and like pulling out hangers and...
Oh man.
So, but I found my vampire wig. I was a vampire like, what, 2-3 years ago? Obviously looking for his stuff because he could have either been a raven. He also was a vampire the year we were both like Victorian vampires, but he couldn't find his like frilly shirt vest thing. We both found our teeth. We had like molded teeth that we got from Vamp Fangs in Salem. So we both had our teeth. So he didn't really like go crazy with the makeup or anything, but like I did my makeup like a nice sultry vampire, did like the smoky eye.
Smoky.
Yeah. So yeah, we had to like whip up these costumes out of thin air last night. So yeah, we get there. I don't know what time it was. Probably like almost 9 o'clock. Okay, there were 7 bars included in this pub crawl, by the way. We went to 3 of them. Okay, what time did this thing end? Because like we left by
Don't bars close at like 2?
Yeah, something like that. So
you left at like midnight, so there were still 4 bars to get to within 2 hours.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like it was weird. You were only supposed to spend about like 40 minutes at each bar, but like it definitely was like way longer than that. And we kind of it was kind of self-guided. We didn't have to pay to go. It was a free pub crawl. So basically you just like show up when they're ready to crawl, and then you go to the bar and they already have like a prefix menu for crawlers because they give you like this little like light up bracelet.
Got it.
And then you just pay for your whatever drinks you want. It's not like a prefixed thing.
So it's like crawl at your own leisure. It's not like you have to stick with anybody.
Right. Yeah. But everybody met in like the same place, and then they kind of like split off into 2 groups and did their own thing. So we went to the first bar. Yeah, that one was cool. I walk in and like some lady was like, I love it. Like she was like looking at my costume, and I just like was like, because I had the teeth in. I hissed at her, and she was like, oh, I love it.
That's adorable. How cute.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we were there like for like 40 minutes, and then the second bar was really cool. It's called Verve, and it's like a 2-story kind of bar, and the upstairs is more of like a old speakeasy kind of lounge. It's really cute. I got like I don't know, it was like some French name. I don't remember the name of the drink, but it was like a sour cherry spritzer, and the cherry that they put in there, it wasn't like a bright red maraschino cherry. It was like one of those chocolate ones. It was so good. So that drink, I think, put me over the edge a little bit, because the drink...
The first drink?
No, the second drink.
Okay.
The drink at the first pub that we went to was strong, and it was really sweet, so I think the sugar was like getting to me.
That'll do it.
The second one, like the fizziness, like kind of cut the sweetness a lot, so I was able to down it a lot faster, but then I think it just like put me over the edge. And then I have to tell you about this. Okay, so we're sitting at the bar, and Avi and our crew was like behind us, and I'm just like chilling at the bar like by myself, and there's maybe 3 people to the left of me, and the bar is playing like all this like early aughts emo punk music, right?
Okay.
So Evanescence comes on. Okay.
Okay.
And the girl next to me, the guy sitting next to her, so he's like not right next
Next
to the
over.
next person over. Yeah. So he's like, oh man, Evanescence, this song's so good, that band is so good, whatever. He's like, yeah, where are they from? Where are they from? So I lean over. I'm already like, 2 drinks in.
You're ready to chat.
I'm ready to chat. Yeah. So I'm no longer introvert Justina. Now I'm like, I know everything about music and I want to school people. So I look over and I'm like, oh, they're from Little Rock, Arkansas. And he's like, oh, okay. And the girl next to him, I hear her talking to him. She's like, who's Evanescence? And I was like, what? I'm like, what? That is sacrilege, first of all.
Was she younger?
She had to have been. But what she said, like, really confused me. So I was like, oh, yeah, they're from Little Rock, Arkansas. He's like, oh, cool. And then she's like, oh, no, like, I don't mean, like, where are they from? I mean, what year were they from? And I was like, '01? And she was like, oh, that's so weird. I've never heard of them. That's, like, my time period. And I'm, like, thinking, wait, time period, like, the year you were born? Because...
No.
Like, how do you not know who Evanescence is if '01 was, like, your prime? They were everywhere. You couldn't listen to the radio without hearing them anywhere,
Right. Oh, my God.
I was like, I turned around to Avi. I was like, she doesn't know who Evanescence is.
Right.
Okay, so then that song ends, and I'm just, like, rolling my eyes. I'm like, I am way too old to be in here.
To be out this late.
That's
Cinderella's got to go home.
That's when the reality was setting in. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what happened? I felt like a literal vampire sitting there, like aging out, but still in the land of the living, but like ultimately like checked out. Yeah. I shouldn't be here.
Oh no.
So that song ends. And then, there was an All-American Reject song that came on. That song that I was like, swing, swing, swing from the tangles of my heart. Yeah. Which, by the way, they're having like a whole resurgence on TikTok.
Yes.
They were doing the house party tours.
Yes, right? I saw that.
So even if like the early aughts wasn't your prime and you were born in the early aughts, like
you've seen them pop up.
Even if you're on TikTok, you should have seen them somewhere in your algorithm if you're like at least Gen Z or maybe even a little older, like even on the earlier end of, I guess, the millennial generation. So that song comes on and I hear her going to the guy next to her. She's like, is this like My Chemical Romance? I'm like dying. You're killing me right now.
Oh my God. Like, she had to have been a little baby.
I turned to Avi. I'm like, she thinks this is My Chemical Romance.
Oh my God. So there was a TikTok. Somebody asked some youth, what year would you consider old? Yeah. And this young man said 2004. Like, what?
That's old?
No way.
Shit.
We are getting, I feel 17. I don't give a shit.
I feel 17 until I sit at a bar with like 21.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like as soon as you start drinking after 7:30, that's too late. Yeah. That's too late for me. That's after dinner. That's cordial time, little time for bed.
We're basically Jet and Franny at this point is what you're saying. Yeah.
Not pounding them back unless I'm in Salem with you. And then I really got to strap on the big girl boots.
Listen, Salem is a whole other ball game, right? Like all bets are off in Salem. It doesn't matter how old you are, like who you are, like everybody's there to rage in Salem. Okay. This was just like, little Saturday night.
At that time, like 9 o'clock, the indigestion kind of starts. You start yawning, your eyes start watering, and like everything is just blurry after 9 o'clock.
Here's the thing though, me and Avi really didn't eat much all day. We had like Panera for lunch, right? Yeah. And then we like pounded leftover sushi maybe in half an hour before we hit the road.
That's not gonna fill you up.
Right.
That's not gonna
It was a snack, right?
Any alcohol landing in your guts?
It was basically a snack, but it held us over enough to get through a couple drinks. But then by the end of the second drink, I was like, okay, I really need something substantial or I'm gonna be sick tonight. So then I'm like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. My friend Leo and Leash are standing right in front of the bathroom, and I told them the whole thing. I'm like, that girl doesn't know who Evanescence is, number one. And number two, she thought All-American Rejects was My Chemical Romance. And they were like, we're too old to be here. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, definitely. So I went to the bathroom. I come back out. I guess they paid the tab or whatever. Oh, before I went to the bathroom, Blink-182 came on, right? All the Small Things. And then she started singing, like she actually knew that song.
Okay.
So she's like, na 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 na, and everybody's singing, like even the bartenders are singing, we're all singing, we're all on the same page for a brief little split second, okay? Yeah, I'm like, okay, everybody knows Blink-182. Awesome. So then I went to the bathroom, told Leo and Leash about that whole thing. They were just like appalled at, they're like, yeah, we're definitely too old to be here. So then we pay the tab, we're getting ready to go. I'm Not Okay by My Chemical Romance comes on. And me, already 3 sheets to the wind by this point, loudly, mind you, the Sagittarius in me really comes out when I have some alcohol in my system. And I look at her and I'm like, this is My Chemical Romance. And she whips around at me and she's like, oh. And we just leave.
Just aghast at your
we just left. And
good for you. What a teaching moment. She's never going to forget that.
Yeah, I'm like, you uncultured swine.
Right. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you had a good time.
Well, yeah, I guess it was a good time. I was just offended the whole time that nobody knew what the fuck these songs were.
I know. Come on. It's just going to keep getting worse.
I know.
Really.
We're getting aged out. I know. And I'm always reminded of it whenever we go out. Music comes on that the prime audience has no idea what the fuck they're listening to.
Yeah. It's going to come back around though. Just like everything else.
But it has started coming back around. Like TikTok is like emo culture. Like there's so well, maybe it's just my algorithm, but there's so much emo music that's like being resurgenced, and like people are covering old songs, and I'm just like, does this chick live under a literal rock? Like what is going on here? Anyway, so then we went and got food, and then by the time we got food, I was like, all right, now I'm ready for bed. But then they wanted to go to bar 3, and bar 3 was the loudest, craziest, most college infused bar, and
sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, as soon as we walked in, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna have fun here. I'm ready to leave. And I was feeling nauseous, and like now I'm like, all right, I want my bed and my cat and my pillows and my blankets and my pajamas. So we were there for like maybe an hour, and the music was so loud, like you couldn't even hold a conversation with somebody kind of loud. So I was like, all right, I already mentally checked out.
Yeah, I do not do well in those environments because my voice doesn't like project as it is.
Yeah,
and if I'm screaming, like you still can't hear me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like those at all.
We were there for maybe an hour, and yeah, after that we left. I'm like, I think they might have gone to another bar after we left. There were like, God, probably 4 more bars on the list. I'm like, all right, I'm good with the 3. I'm ready to leave.
I'm glad you got to do something for Halloween. I know you look forward to your party every year, but I know it's very stressful. The cleaning and the food and the people. And I'm sorry you don't get to have that this year, but with everything else that's happened over the summer with your health and your car and like everything, you know, and just trying to wrap up our stuff, plus start new stuff together.
I know.
It's a lot right now.
It's a lot. So I'm like, Gavi, are you feeling the Halloween party this year? He's like, no, not really. I'm like, all right, then it's not just me. Then I don't feel as guilty being like, we're not doing a party this year. You know, I think we're both just really exhausted, like mentally, physically depleted. We just need an off year, and it's fine. You just gotta take a breather every now and then. We've gone hard with the Halloween party since pre-wedding, which is exhausting. It is. So, well, before we were married, we were like just using my parents' house as the party place. But now, like, you know, having our own house, now we have a lot more to like worry about. It's like, okay, now and you have animals.
Yeah,
right? I have to like put them away for the night, like in the bedroom. People are in and out of the house constantly.
Yeah.
I remember the first year we had the party here, we had Coraline, and like I couldn't find her for like 20 minutes.
She got out.
And I thought she got out, and I had a meltdown. I was like, all right, from now on, the cats are getting put away until the party's over. Yeah. But as I was sitting at that second bar last night, I was getting all up in my feels too.
Why?
I don't know if it was all the emo music playing, but because Ami and Leon Leash, they were like standing behind me, and I guess they wanted to make more room for people at the bar, which is fine. But my lazy ass, I was like, I'm not getting up. I'm sitting my ass here.
This is my seat.
This is my seat, and I'm sitting here, and I don't care if I have to yell at strangers for not knowing what song this is playing.
Okay.
So I just sat there, but as I'm sitting there, and like, you know, I don't really have any other girlfriends there to really talk to, but I'm just like thinking, I'm like, I really wish Kristina was here right now. I want a girlfriend that like I can talk shit with, because I know like you would have been right on par with me, like talking mad shit about people that don't know those songs.
The technology that's there is so nice to be able to bring us together, but it also is like a little stab in the side of like, yeah, but you're never gonna be together.
I know. It's so frustrating. It is like
it's really frustrating. We are gonna make it big and then be able to like charter flights whenever we need, you know, and be together. I feel the same way. Like I really do enjoy hanging out with my neighbors, and not that I don't respect you. I do respect you, but I have like a level of respect that like we don't talk about certain things because they're older, and like I know I can talk to them about anything,
No,
but
I get what you're saying. Like, it's not that you don't respect me, but like, I'm a no filter friend. We could talk to each other unfiltered,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
we're not going to be offended, you know? So
Exactly.
I get what you're saying.
And I do miss having a girlfriend like close by,
Mm,
and we're
yeah,
gonna get all emotional about it because like
I
I have
know.
and I have Caitlin and I have Clyde as my female friends, and that's
Yeah,
about it. I'm okay with that.
yeah,
I try to like be friendly with the neighbors in town, but again, Clyde and I were just talking about this. Like, I really enjoy, the stories I hear from my neighbors, but I don't really have a lot in common with them. And if
okay.
the four of us are hanging out, it always turns to like mountain biking, and I'm like, I can't talk about this shit. You want me to talk about?
Right.
You want to talk about? So that's why I always bring it back around to like her bees and like gardening and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But the witchcraft stuff is just lost on everybody. I was getting to explain to Tom and Clyde about Samhain.
Oh yeah.
Clyde goes, I don't mean this any offense to you at all. I am just curious because you're a witch. Are you a witch? I said, I think so. She said, in that vein, this time of year is very important to you, right? I said, it is. Let me tell you about it.
Oh, well, I like how like she opened up the conversation and she wanted to know
Did.
more about it. That's sweet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I told them about dumb suppers and how it just
Hmm.
connects us with our ancestors. And she, as raised Southern Baptist, again, it's just the word that people don't really jive
Yeah.
with. But I know she loves me. She loves me to pieces. So I'm glad I get to open somebody's eyes. And Tom's all about it.
Yeah, I know. He wants to hear our summer solstice song every year. That's amazing.
Right, right, right. So
Yeah.
they're sweethearts. It's just I
Yeah.
miss just like I see the TikToks scroll by of
Mhm.
like girls having
I know.
girl fun and dinner and sleepovers, and I just miss that.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, I've had some witchy party. I've had a couple witchy parties here now. I'm trying to be more open about my craft and, my, spirituality and bringing people into my circle, even my muggle friends who don't really know what planet I'm on or what I'm talking about. And I try, and I feel like it always seems to like backfire in some way. So I'm also kind of in that same boat where it's like I'm trying to incorporate my muggle friends, and some are really interested, and some of them, do lean a little more witchy, but maybe wouldn't consider themselves a witch.
Mhm.
So it's easier to kind of incorporate those kinds of friends, but then there's some muggle friends who don't want to feel left out, but they also don't want to be like too close to that whole darkness.
That's on them. They got to
Right.
work through that. You can
Right.
only do so much, and you're inviting them and opening their eyes to like, hey, this is my path and my spirituality, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I want to share that with you because I love you and I really respect our friendship. So
Right.
that's on them how they receive it.
Yeah, so I was like all up in my feels sitting at the
I'm
bar last night.
sorry.
I'm just like, I wish Christina was here.
I know, I missed you
I
so
want I
much.
want to talk shit with
I know.
somebody who
I
can,
know.
just talk shit with me and not make me feel like an asshole. Be like, well, she is kind of young. I'm like, Avi, no, you're trying to be devil's advocate. You're trying to be nice and not judge, but like, come on.
Be a
Evanescence,
bitch.
everybody knows who Evanescence is. Don't they? Is it just me?
They should.
Anyway, we should tell Becky
Anyway.
that.
Yes, we should.
Tell Becky about that. The Queen of Early Aughts, that Sudbury episode is like my entire, I guess,
It's golden.
college experience, right?
It's kind of nice that it is a secret gem. It's
Yeah.
like a secret society only a handful have seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's super deep cut, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I love it.
Do we need to restart?
Probably. Well, we got 10 minutes left on the clock here. Let me actually open my notes for this episode because I don't
Okay.
really have them up yet. I'm just like, yeah, it's the last day of school. We
We're
can
just
fuck
chatting.
off. I just wanted to catch up with you, and like I know we have some bullet points to talk about, but like listen, anybody listening to this, if you're here to like learn information this episode, maybe this is not the best episode to start with.
Go back to the
Go back.
beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not the very beginning, maybe beginning of season 3. That was a really good
right.
one.
Yeah, we did have a really good season 3. Lots of
Mm-hmm.
information, lots
Yeah.
of research. But I think
Mm-hmm.
season 3 really packed a punch. Um,
Season 3, we started with the Divine Feminine Rising and somehow ended on necromancy. But I think starting with that one, right? Starting there, because I think one of the questions later on I didn't include. I wanted to talk about like how we work together and that we don't always agree, and not all podcasts discuss like the collision of thought or idea, right? And starting season 3 was right after the election, and
right.
it just like started with a bang. And we were so in our emotions and we were trying to find how to funnel that and focus that. And I think that's why that episode turned out really, really good.
Right. Yeah. I remember when we recorded, well, before we recorded that episode, me and you sat down to record an episode and then it became into just like a vent sesh. And I think I was not in the right mindset to record an episode at that time. So I think we scrapped that episode, took a step back, took a little bit of a breather, and tried to frame it in a way that was a productive conversation rather than just like what
Anger.
Yeah, pure anger. I was trying to think of an analogy, but just screaming into a pillow or into the void, basically, you know.
Right.
So channeling our anger and our disappointment into something more productive and something that can maybe help some people process their grief and emotions of that whole thing.
Yeah, and then that opened the opportunity for us to debut our Circle of Broom song-isode.
Right.
Which is so beautiful. And then snowballing everything else was like, we're gonna have a full ass season.
Yeah,
and we did.
It was a great season. So wait, I had a seasons at a glance here. Okay, so should we just do the roll call of all of our episodes this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
This season. And I mean, feel free to stop me if there's any little nuggets in your brain that you want to mention about any of these episodes.
Okay.
All right. So yes, we started with episode 99, The Divine Feminine Rising, Reclaiming Our Power, right? And that was post-election and, you know, getting all of our feelings and the gunk all out surrounding that. Then we had the episode 100, which was our first song-isode of season 3. And that was our song-isode number 11. So we had done 11 songs, our original songs up at this point.
Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. They came in fear tonight, but leave with so much love. And our ancestors see us through. Our bond can't be broken as we join together in a circle of
Love that song. I'm glad we did that
do
then.
too.
I think it was necessary. And then we did our 2-part episode about the star.
Yes.
Gary's badge.
Chunky.
Yeah, very chunky. I don't know, like, I think we were also trying to give ourselves a little more time to get ready for the next episode. I think that's why we ended up splitting it up, because we needed a week to, like, you know, get more information for.
We had a few 2-parters this season, and I'm fine with that because y'all, these are long episodes. Like I was editing the necromancy. I was like, oh, I think this is our heavy hitter. I think this is like 4 hours. And then I finished. I was like 3 hours, 45 minutes. And then I was listening to the hair episode, which is like 4 hours and 40 minutes.
Holy shit.
So
I didn't realize we had that much about hair.
Right. So I'm fine. I like doing the 2-parters because especially when it comes to the movie, not trying to blaze the whole way through. And really giving, you know, when we did color analysis and the major arcana, really giving those scenes the time they deserve with that topic.
Yes, we did the star 2-part episode, and then we did auras. We got to talk a little bit about our experience in Salem when we did the aura photography at House Witch, right? That was a lot of fun. And then we had our... Now that I'm realizing that you just pointed it out, our 4-hour-long hair magic episode. That's insane. And you just posted something to our Instagram page of you chopping off your hair, right?
I sure did, because we had just talked about Hecate and when I chopped it off years and years ago, and I thought, let's fucking do it, because like I said last episode, I was just feeling like I'm finally in like a good mental health space. Let's get rid of all of this memory that's tied to this damaged person. And offer it to Hecate. I sent it to Locks of Love, so hopefully somebody else can enjoy it.
So my hair, you know, my hair grows like a weed. When we were recording our album in Boston, remember my hair was like shoulder length?
Yeah, it was.
How long it is
very
again,
short.
But I think I'm overdue for a cut as well.
Your hair is very long.
It grows like a weed.
Somebody commented, I think it was Alex. They were saying something like, they said, oh, it looks nice, but they were like, but everybody's going to be growing out their hair for practical magic too. I was like, that's right. Everybody will be. That's why I'm chopping it off, because I'm not like everybody else.
You're a rebel. Going against the grain. Yeah. So spinning off of the hair magic, after that, we had a 2-part movie color analysis episode, right? So that spanned episodes 105 and 106. And that episode was really cool. You know what I realized? I think I was talking about the art class that I was doing, like the color theory art class. I don't think I ever found those color swatches that I was telling you about. They're in my parents' attic somewhere. Yeah, I gotta go find those. Yeah. And like looking back at all of our episodes, I'm realizing all the stuff that I said I would post on the Patreon and then I never did.
Never did. You gotta keep a list. Keep an active list.
I did a couple things, but we talk about all these things on these like 4+ hour conversations, and then the record button's off, and then it goes whoop, out my brain.
The only reason I remember is because when I'm editing, I'm like, oh, let me do that real quick, right?
Right. Yeah, so I think maybe one of my goals during our break is to get some of that content up that I've been I just don't have the time, podcasting.
I'll start sending you reminders. When it comes up, I will write them down.
Yeah. If you're ever listening back to an episode and you hear me say I'll post something on the Patreon and it's not over there, just let me know and I'll be like, all right, now I know I gotta I'll put it on the list. Okay. There's a lot of songs from song-episodes that I have to like put up the lyrics and, the scratch tracks over on there if anybody wants them. So the movie color analysis episode was great. Loved that one. And then we had the Black Dog, which we talked about Nick Drake, right, on that episode and his whole like spooky backstory. Many of what seemed to have been Nick Drake's happier days were spent in France. When he was younger, still social and socializing, and with what felt like a musical future in front of him, France would be a place of promise, adventure, excitement. Story after French story seems fundamentally made of the same ingredients: poorly furnished apartments, wine to drink, dope to smoke, conversations to be had. And of course, there would always be a guitar around, and Nick, more often than not, would be playing it. And to get around, they could still hitchhike. Those were the kind of days. Nick and friends stayed for a time at residence Sextius in Aix-en-Provence, and Joe Dingemans was one of the group and recalled a night when they got to talking about spiritualism. They had a go of what they called, quote, table turning, something similar to a Ouija board experience. So already this song is like shrouded in like the spiritual realm, which is so, gives me all the chilies, right? So as told in Nick Drake, The Life, the biography by Richard Morton Jack, Nick apparently got really into it and started talking to dead uncles and the like. And later, as Joe would recount, the group was, quote, followed by a big black dog. She said that they never saw it again, and it, quote, shook them, which is interesting enough because Michael sees the dog and then we don't see it again after he gets hit. Actually, we don't see it from the point the cyclists come around the corner. We don't see it from then on. Even while Michael is kind of standing there, like just surrendering to the moment, we don't even see it through all the bicycle chaos. So I think it's an interesting parallel here that Nick Drake, the writer of the song, also had an experience with a black dog and it freaked him out and then it was never seen again. So that's a little weird. So Joe remained convinced that this was the dog Nick was referencing in his song, The Black-Eyed Dog. So the lyrics go like this. Black-eyed dog, he called at my door. The black-eyed dog, he called for more. So virtually everyone else who's ever heard the song seems to presume the dog was a metaphor for the illness that would increasingly consume Nick Drake until the day that he took a too big dose of pills and left the world for good. But what if it was actually just a big black dog? Or perhaps the black-eyed dog is death itself? A kind of English hellhound on Nick's trail. And what about the home? Is this a return to the primordial womb? Or is this Farley's in Tamworth and Arden, the home where his parents lived, to where Nick would return and return and return, alternatively relying on and hating his reliance to the place? Perhaps it's a dog with literally a black eye, not a dog with eyes that were colored black. A dog with a black eye, as in a dog that had been punched in the eye. And this says, what if the black-eyed dog is Nick himself? The himself he thinks he's already becoming. The old before his time prizefighter aging away outside a ring that there's no returning to. So that line right there stuck out to me. What if the black-eyed dog was Nick himself? It's kind of like how we were just comparing Michael to perhaps symbolizing the black dog himself in that initial kiss scene when he himself is wearing the black to show his impending fate all along. So I thought that was another interesting parallel between Nick Drake and Michael's death scene.
Yeah, who knew? I had no idea. And we learned about the shook. The
shook.
The Celtic folklore.
Great.
Yes.
So that episode had lots of good information in there. And then we had, what do we have? Episode 108. Well, before 108, we had somebody slide into our DMs. Do you want to tell everybody about that?
We sure did. We had Miss Becky Hartman Edwards, the executive producer of the Sudbury pilot, which was never aired, but it was a spinoff for Practical Magic. That was supposed to air for the WB. It's because her sister-in-law was searching Sudbury or something.
Yeah.
And found our reaction. No, she found our season 2 episode about the Sudbury pilot that she was a part of.
You're right. Yeah. And how I found out that she had slid into our DMs. We should pop a little clip in right here of that. I believe I was in the bathtub.
Oh, right.
Reading my mermaid smut, and then Becky slides into our DMs, and I'm like, "Is this real? Who is this?" And I sent it to you. Yeah. And I was about to get my naked ass into a hot bath and drown myself in my mermaid erotica books. And then I get a ping on our Insta. So I checked it and I get this message. And it said this: "Hi, my name is Becky Hartman Edwards, and I'm a television writer and producer. A friend of mine just sent me a podcast you did about the Sudbury Practical Magic television pilot a few years ago. I wrote and executive produced that pilot and loved hearing your thoughts and reactions. If you're ever interested in learning more about the project, I'd be happy to share my experiences of making the pilot. The one thing I can let you know is that the reason there is wall-to-wall music is because of a snafu that took place when Warner Brothers, the television studio that produced the pilot, did a DVD output of the first cut. This was obviously before everything was done on the cloud. The music track was extremely low, so one of the biggest notes we got from CBS was that the pilot needed more, and louder music. Anyway, I love the book Practical Magic and love all of Alice Hoffman's work, and making that pilot was one of the highlights of my career." I read that. My naked ass was standing there in the bathroom. I was reading that and I was like, what?
I'm naked.
What is this? Kristina, I Marco'd you from my bathtub and I was like, go check out our Insta right now.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was doing. I remember getting the ping and getting like the little like clip at the top of your phone, the preview. And I was like, what? So I wanted to click on it, but it kind of went away. Maybe it was like, oh, this was already opened. And so I put it down until you Marco'd me and I was like, the fuck. So then I went, was I at work? Do you remember? What was I doing?
I don't remember what you were doing. You might have been in your garden or I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think you might have been driving somewhere. I don't remember. Yeah, but I was in the bathtub and I had my phone on my little bench outside the bathtub and I was just peeking my head over it. My naked ass was just like, check your messages right now.
I think at that point when you said to check it, you had already replied to her.
Yes, I think, because I was like, I can't let this get away. So that was just a small clip of us geeking out over Becky Hartman Edwards getting in touch with us and wanting to talk to us about the Sudbury pilot. Now here's just a small clip of Becky from her perspective and why she decided to reach out to us after she heard our podcast about her pilot. Roll the clip.
My sister lives in Belmont, Massachusetts, and a friend of hers was, I don't know why she was Googling Sudbury. Maybe she's like looking for houses on Zillow or something. Somehow your podcast came up and she reached out to my sister and said, was this your sister's thing? Like somehow she started listening to it. So it wasn't like she was like a fan who knew of my thing, but she somehow, your Sudbury one came up on her feed. And she told my sister said she didn't even bother listening, but she's like, hey, Becky, remember that pilot you did? Like there may be someone talking. I was like, what? No one's like it's a 20-year-old dead pilot. And then I listened to yours and I was like, I mean, it is the dream. Well, the dream of everyone who does a pilot is that it goes to series. But if you're going to have a dead pilot, the idea that people actually get to see it and will discuss it is the most gratifying feeling in the world. And so when I heard it, I was like, wow, first of all, I'm so honored that, people.
Oh my gosh, we feel like we've been robbed of this masterpiece.
And I think I heard you guys talk about the music and it's one of the things that's always bugged me. And so I was like, I remember reaching out to you guys and I was like, I just have to get this one off my chest. Like I literally
set the record straight.
Feel that I needed to put music from, end to end. And I wanted to just at least give you guys that that piece of information. So maybe, it was magic. It's kind of like, maybe was it magic that my sister's friend was Googling, Sudbury, either to see if she wanted to move there. She didn't really tell me why. It's like a friend of hers, but somehow stumbled on it. And so lo and behold.
Well, that's amazing. We're glad that it brought you to us. And we were able
well, I'm glad as well. I am now a diehard fan of your podcast, and how fun that I get to listen to it as this remake is happening. And you've definitely made me, as I said, when it didn't go, I'd spent so much time thinking and living in this world. And I don't know if you, for other reasons, ever have any other TV writers on, but it's really painful when you do a pilot because these characters are living in your head. You have these lives spun out for them, and then they just go away. And so you really have to mourn them.
We're the ghosts. Bringing it back.
No, and so I sort of had to shut it off. Well, it's been plenty of time now. So it's been fun to revisit.
The healing has happened, and now.
Yes, exactly. And now I can embrace the practical magic sequel and listen to your guys' take on it as I do. So I'm really excited by that.
It was just really cool that she was like so open and so like wanting to talk with us about Evanescence.
Yeah.
And early aughts music.
Right.
Yeah. And all that awesome early aughts rock alternative music she put in that episode.
And so
and she was like just
down to earth and just willing to share everything. And she was just as excited to talk about practical magic as we were, which is great.
Exactly. So that's probably one of my favorite moments of season 3. Is being able to talk to somebody who actually has ties to that whole world and the filming of some of the deep cuts, right? And then episode 109, we did an episode on Alan Silvestri and all of the beautiful music that he has composed for the first film.
Not Alan Menken.
But do you remember on that episode we did
battle?
We did a whole rap battle and a fan fiction between him and who was the guy? Michael Nyman, right?
Michael
Nyman. We did like a whole thing of like pitting them against each other in some epic rap battle to fight for who's going to do the score to the Practical Magic movie.
The list, two maestros clash for practical magic score. Who will enchant with tunes you adore? Silverstree's zest or Nyman's deep core. Let's see who wins this mystical war. I'll summon the spirits with symphonies grand, conducting the wind waves at my command. Zemeckis ally with themes so divine. Your minimal touch ain't stealing my shine.
It was all in good fun. I don't think there's any actual beef between those two, but hey, we were not a fly in the wall. We don't know. There might have been. I don't know. That's just us using our imaginations, right? And speculating. We're
Imagination's welcome.
Unless we can ever talk to Alan at some point about his amazing composition.
Yes.
And and then we got to learn that he's doing the second film too.
So, oh my God.
That's so exciting. It's so exciting that
score is just blowing up on TikTok. And some of the videos don't even have to do with practical magic. Some of it doesn't even have to do with like cottagecore magical living. People are just using it because it's very trending right now.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. And I have to be honest, as soon as I see a video with that music in it, even if it has nothing to do with practical magic, I automatically reshare it, like it, save it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, it's giving me the feels. So
it does.
Yeah. So that was a fun episode, getting to learn a little bit about him. We also learned he owns a winery, right? He owns a winery. So that would be fun if we ever, got to take this show on the road.
Live show at a vineyard? Yes, please.
At a vineyard? Yes, absolutely. Sign us up. And then episode 110 started our, let's see, let me count. 1, 2, 3 streak episode having to do with snakes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And we didn't do these all in a row, but we started off with just doing the snake because it was 2025, I believe, was the year of the snake, right? But then that spun off into like, we did Rattlesnake Weed, we did Leech Lake, which was about the Leviathan and the Loch Ness Monster and sea serpents and all that stuff.
That one was cool.
Getting all into the snakes this year was really cool to dive into all of that magic and lore with the Pentecostal snake.
Oh my
What are they
God.
called?
The snake handlers.
The snake handlers, yes, thank you. And that whole bit, and then like we had Lori, one of our amazing patrons, weigh in and give us her she had
a hilarious story
about that. That
it was 5 hours of snakes. Yes, that might have been the biggest one.
Yeah, and going down a whole rabbit hole of Appalachian magic,
Granny witches.
granny witchcraft, and yes, then we tying that into the rattlesnake weed.
Yes.
So yes, we did all of that.
Yeah. And we got Greg, the little tattoo I got of
Oh,
the snake
That's right,
to
Kristina got
commemorate.
Greg, her little snake tattoo.
Greg.
Greg, the Ouroboros, right?
The Ouroboros.
Is yours a
Yes.
Ouroboros? Is it eating its tail on your arm?
It is. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. It's going all the way around.
So cute.
And then what did we have?
Let's see. So episode 110 was just the snake in general. And then episode 111, we talked about verbena. And we all learned a new word, right? Staunched.
Stina's favorite word.
Staunched.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember on that episode. It might have been the episode after that, actually, where I told the story of how Jesus staunched
Thanksgiving
his
or something.
wounds on was it Easter? Thanksgiving?
Easter. Yeah.
Yeah, so I enlightened my family about what staunched meant, and what Jesus used to staunch his wounds was verbena, right? Is what we learned on that episode. I have a quick story time, okay? So before we even start, I have to tell you my creepy Jesus St. Patrick's Day story.
I'm hooked. Okay.
Talk about elevator pitch. Yeah, so I can't believe I haven't told you this yet, but I forgot the last 2 times when we recorded because I wanted to save this for the podcast.
Okay.
This is actually a really good episode to tell you this on because we are going to venture further down the religion rabbit hole with today's topic, right? So I felt like a creepy Jesus story was totally appropriate. So let's rewind a little bit. I went to my parents' house on St. Patrick's Day for some corned beef and cabbage. Tradition, right? Do this every year. And I think our verbena/vervain episode had just come out, or we had just recorded it. So I felt like I had like new knowledge to share with my family.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how this came up, but basically Phyllis wanted to come to dinner.
No way. Okay.
Out of nowhere, I was just like, guys, do you know how they staunched Jesus' wounds? Mind you, this dinner is just me, Avi, my mom, and my dad. So they were like, what the hell is staunched? So I'm like feeling all smart, as if I had actually known what the word meant before we talked about it on the podcast. I've never heard that word before in my life. But, I had to play smarty pants because I have a podcast. And they're only Catholic when it's convenient, so I felt like I had some new knowledge to bestow upon them about Jesus. So I was like, staunched, like to stop the bleeding of his wounds after they stabbed him in the side. Yeah. So just nonchalantly over corned beef, right? So they were like, no, we don't know. What did they use? So I was like, they use verbena. My dad was like, what the hell is verbena?
Funny, you should ask, Daddy.
Yeah, so I was explaining how verbena was an herb, also called vervain, yada, yada, yada. And while I'm explaining this to them, the lights start flickering and the power goes out for a second. Okay?
What the fuck?
It was so fucking creepy. And my mom had both TVs going in both. Okay, so maybe it was she had every single fucking TV on in the house. maybe that was it, but it was just so fucking creepy, right? But she had the TVs going on in the kitchen and in the living room playing all this Irish fiddle music, and then after the lights flickered, it was just ew. It was just silent.
God, what did you do?
I don't know, but we all just looked at each other like, did that seriously just happen? And my mom was like, oh, see what happens when you talk about Jesus? I was like, it's probably Joan telling us to shut up and just keep drinking.
Yeah.
But it took forever for the TVs to come back on with the music, because I guess whatever kicked the power out also kicked out the router and the internet. So it was this awkward quiet for a significant amount of time, and we're just all sitting there in awkward silence while Dee is shaming me for upsetting Jesus while we eat our corned beef.
And you're like, so anyway, about vervain. Dark house.
Exactly. So yeah, creepy shit happens in that house, and I told you about the spooky shit that happens in that house before, and all the weird stuff going on with the lights flickering and the bulbs burning out. There's always shit going on with the electricity in that house. It never fails. So I think there's spirits in that house that either are really annoyed or really want to be part of the conversation, or who knows, maybe it really was Jesus weighing in, listen to her. She has a podcast. She knows what she's talking about. And Phyllis was just like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Yeah, they're like Victorian ghosts, we know what staunched is. Why don't y'all know what staunched is, vervain? Oh my God. That was the hottest shit back in our time.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, they just shoved it in his side so he would stop bleeding. And like, they're just like staring at me with these blank stares, like, we don't care.
What?
So we had like a finding on that episode about why Sally would have named her shop Verbena.
Ah,
Remember?
in memoriam to
Yeah.
Michael. Yes.
Yes. It was some Egyptian god and goddess. I forget exactly who it was. I came across a small piece of information. I jumped ahead and I kind of like skimmed through the folklore stuff because I was like, is there anything in here that we can tie back to the movie? And I did find a small piece of information that actually makes a lot of sense when connecting it to the movie. So it is said that ancient Egyptians believed vervain sprang from the tears of Isis as she cried over the death of her beloved Osiris. Knowing what we know about Sally, when she corrected Jimmy about Louis L'Amour facts, this woman clearly is learned about literature. She spits facts because she's well versed, and she probably reads a lot of mythology, and I could see her naming her store Verbena with that very notion of herself as Isis, crying those vervain tears over the death of her own Osiris, her Michael, and her shop location being at the epicenter of his death. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's very intentional, the location and the name. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Sally named her shop Verbena Botanicals as a tribute to Michael, inspired by the Egyptian folklore that vervain sprang from the tears of Isis as she mourned Osiris. And given Sally's deep love for Michael and the profound grief she experienced after his death, this connection would be a poetic and meaningful way to honor his memory. As for the shop's location, it's unclear whether Sally consciously chose to lease the exact spot where Michael was killed, or if fate led her there. Given the themes of destiny and magic and practical magic, it's likely that the universe guided her back to that place, perhaps as a way to bring her full circle, helping her heal and embrace her path as a healer. Even if she didn't initially realize the significance, she may have felt drawn to it on a deeper, more subconscious level. And ultimately, the name and location of Verbena Botanicals could both symbolize Sally's journey through grief, love, and acceptance, transforming loss into something beautiful and meaningful.
I love it. I love that
Right?
Egyptian connection. That's
Right.
so
And
sweet.
like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? I was like, why the name Verbena? But like, if you look at that whole myth, it's like, duh, Isis is crying tears of the vervain over her beloved that she's mourning.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to episode 112 and 113. This one was also a heavy hitter because we had a lot to talk about. We did a whole episode on the major arcana of practical magic, and that was a 2-part episode. And we just basically picked out all the archetypes between each card of the major arcana and one of the characters, or maybe even instances of something that happens in the practical magic universe, world, film.
Exactly.
But this episode also had a little bit of controversy, didn't it, Kristina?
It kind of did, because after the fact, I wanted to share some of these cards. And again, these were just the fool's journey through practical magic as a tool to like help you visualize the major arcana a little easier. And I was planning on sitting down in the future and maybe hand drawing something to this effect. But I was like, let me put something out there because tarot is very popular right now, and so is practical magic. So I was posting those revamped AI generated cards that I went in and I kind of edited and moved things around. And some folks were like, what the fuck? Like, what's with the AI? And we're like, hold on, calm down. We're not selling any of this. It's just for a visual representation of the fool's journey for practical magic. But some people were not about it, right?
Yeah. Some people were very offended that we were posting AI generated art. And I don't know if it was just in general, like, no, AI art, bad. Like, I don't know if it was just that mentality, or if they were like, wait, are they trying to sell these? Like, and some people were like, please sell these. And we're like, well, we can't. They're AI images. And even though like you edited some things around, like ultimately, like, it's not
hand done. It's not from our brains.
Ours, and we
And
don't
if we
even
post
have bandwidth to do something like that right now.
No. If we are to post something, that is AI, it will have a disclaimer on it that says it is.
We know
right?
better
We
now.
try not to do that.
Yeah, initially I don't think we had the disclaimer on there, and some people were like, what the fuck? But now we know. We're learning as we're going. This whole AI thing is very new, right? Relatively.
And it was never meant to upset anybody. I just thought, oh, this could be cool to visualize the deck this way. So
we apologize to anybody whose feathers we ruffled. We're not trying to claim these as our own images. We're just
correct.
I think we're entitled to use something as a character study, and if visual imagery is gonna jog some discussion, then that's what we're here for. Like, we're podcasters.
Absolutely.
Like, that's kind of our job, is to drum up some discussion. It wasn't meant to be the discussion about the AI art. It was meant to be a discussion about the archetypes and the characters and the imagery surrounding, stuff that would be on a tarot card and how it pertains to the film and the world of practical magic. And that's really all it was.
Right.
So,
because even in the episodes, you had said, because, I would talk about the card and what I included on the card. And you had said, I would think that maybe this scene or this character might fit that a little better. And that's what it was supposed to like drum up with our listeners, is like, what do you think? Who fits this the best,
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
So that was that. And but other than that little kerfuffle and all that little controversy, that great 2-part episode, guys. I mean, if you saw those cards on our feed and you got offended, maybe take a listen to our episodes. Maybe take a listen to
yes.
Maybe it'll change your mind. I don't know. Maybe it'll drum up some, thought-provoking discussion in your own mind about how some of those cards relate to the characters and archetypes within the film. And that's all it was meant to do. But anyway, moving on. So we did like more of the snake stuff. Episode 114 was the rattlesnake weed. Episode 115 was the leech lake. And then we got to do an elemental series this season, right?
We started and finished a series.
In one season. How do we
did one element a month for the summer, and then kind of prolonged spirit because that fit better for our spooky season. But yeah, Earth was our first element that we tackled.
Yeah, so that was episode 116. And then we did another song-a-sode, episode 117. We did Midnight Margaritas, and that was song-a-sode number 12.
Put it in a blender, coconut and lime, dance around the kitchen, feeling fine, fine, fine. Sit around the table, throw another back or two. Well, they never will believe us. We're drinking midnight margaritas.
Loved that song.
Yeah.
They really were driving to that song.
So that one was a lot of fun to do. So moving on to episode 118, we had a second special guest of the year. We had a Popcorn Psychology, who are they are podcast hosts in their own right? And they talk a lot about, they're both certified, 3 of them, right? Certified therapists?
There are 3. I think it's Ben, Hannah, and Brittany. So we had Hannah and Brittany on. I had been wanting to talk to them since we started this podcast because they had a practical magic episode all about generational trauma. And I was like, there is so much more we could talk about. And they were kind enough to sit down with us for this episode. And I was like, this is so cool. There's this cool overlap of magical thinking and trauma language. So how does magical thinking act as a survival mechanism in the practical magic world?
Essentially, when we thought about that, or when I thought about that, I thought about how people really need to make meaning from their trauma experience. They really have to create meaning somehow. And I feel like magical thinking is more of a coping mechanism, but also is something, so there's magical thinking, and that happens when we kind of like assume that 2 things go together that have nothing to do with each other.
Like
right?
parking lot violinist.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a coping skill that maybe will be impactful. We do use something in therapy called a magic wand question, which is where we ask if you had if we're really stuck with somebody and they're really having a hard time kind of describing what their goals are, like what they really want to work on, we say, well, okay, so let's imagine there's a magic wand and all of the things that you're worried about or whatever have disappeared. What does that look like? So that's something that's like a little bit different that we do with the magic wand question. And then usually from there, we can create goals. We can figure out what the person is really like, what's the most important thing to them. You can also do values work with them as well. But I think in terms of magical thinking being a survival mechanism, I don't know that those two things necessarily correlate.
I mean, and you could make the argument, like, I'm about to be so hardcore, is religion magical thinking that we do to deal? Like, as like human beings, we really like existentially need things to mean something big, to mean something, to just be meaningful, like you were saying, Hannah. Or then what? Like, we have a really hard time sitting in the discomfort of like, sometimes bad things just happen. Sometimes we don't have control. We don't have control over a lot of stuff. And that's just what it is. And I think magical, like the idea of like this curse or whatever, or like things happen for a reason, God, things happen for a reason, you know, like things that people say. I think it allows us a certain level of like existential comfort that does bring people a certain levels of peace. That's why things like religious beliefs are still on and popping, you know, for a lot of people, what they would define as like a positive way, like a supportive way. And I think when we think of like the aunts and the Owen family specifically, the idea, I can see the idea of the curse, like lets them maybe deal with the trauma they've been through. Well, it's just a family curse. And so that's what it is. But I think where that goes bad, kind of where like also religion will take on that very heavy like shame approach. I was raised Catholic, is that it can lead to this magical thinking of connecting to things that don't necessarily connect, can lead to a lot of, like we said, like shame and taking on things as too much of your fault, which you do see like Sally definitely does and Franny definitely does, of this idea that like something's bad about us. And so we don't get to deserve like love and happiness because there's something bad about us.
Yes, great discussion. And then moving on to episode 119, we did an entire episode about salt. I guess this
salt.
one, this was kind of like spinning off of that Earth Elemental series because I think a lot of that salt episode tied back to some of the stuff we talked about in the Earth Element episode as well. And then episode 120 was a good one.
Brought us that little nugget of tasty morsel to roast.
Yes, very tasty morsel, like a s'more,
like a fine brisket,
like a yummy campfire s'more. We had a mega roast on here on Magnolia Street. We had our first, well, I don't think it was our first hater, but it was the first hater comment that kind of like hit where it hurt, and the knife was jabbed and twisted because they came for Geminis specifically, right, Kristina?
And Sagittarius said, "Oh no." And then we blew it up into a whole big episode where we just got to roast each other. We roasted the Owens characters. We roasted everything.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of behind the scenes, though, that you don't really hear too much of this on the actual episode, right? And behind the scenes, me and you, when we're putting together an episode where, you know, we're kind of both adding to the same notes and, you know, we're kind of doing our own thing, whether that's adding fan fiction or, you know, actual research or whatever, our own thoughts. I wanted to text this person. I can't even say it. Right? I was like ready to do, well, not really hex them. I wanted to do a fan fiction about hexing them. Right?
That's right.
Yeah. And Kristina was like, maybe that's not the best.
That's
and I'm
a
like,
little
no, you're
extreme.
Right. Yeah, we shouldn't do that. Like, that's a little extreme. And see, that's why, you know, we need each other, because we talk each other off the ledge, right? Just like when you posted the tarot cards and we were getting all that bad feedback, I was like, Kristina, maybe we should put up a disclaimer. Maybe we should take them down. Maybe we should do this or that. And like, you know, we need each other to kind of talk each other off the ledge at some point.
Yes.
And this episode was Kristina talking me off the ledge, like, okay, we can't hex this person. Let's make it, you know, maybe we should do something else. And I'm like, all right, I got you. We'll do something more comical. We'll put a more lighthearted spin on it. How is that? bad. Yeah, we never recorded it. We kind of just scrapped it where it was because Kristina said, Justina, bad.
Bad,
and I
bad,
said,
bad.
okay.
Don't put that out there in the universe.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. So thank you for checking me. Thank you for keeping me grounded and be like, bad witch. So we did not hex our hater. Believe me, we wanted to, but we put a more positive spin on it, and that is what you hear. It began on a Tuesday. Hey, today, right? Today's Tuesday. Which, as every witch knows, is the worst day to cross a Gemini. It was also the most efficient day for 2 Virgo risings, as this was their scheduled recording day and it would be conveniently convening to take care of their usual podcast business. Kristina had just finished restocking the spell cabinet with glitter, rose quartz, and ethically sourced sass. Justina was lounging with Coraline in her lap, Punky was whining in the background, and she was strumming her ukulele, sipping lavender lemonade, and quietly plotting how to fit more Stevie Nicks lyrics into casual conversation.
Are we living together in this fanfiction?
We might be.
Cool.
Then, the notification came. 1 comment, 3 red flags, infinite rage. Kristina read it aloud, slow and deadpan.
Crazy annoying hosts. Oh, I'm a Gemini, and like nobody wants to listen to me. Then prattle on for an hour plus about how much you love practical magic without actually really disgusting practical magic at all.
The room went silent. The cats hissed. The candles flickered. The brownies in the oven deflated. Justina lowered her ukulele. Kristina, I think we need to call him. In the corner of the room stood a full-length Art Deco mirror framed in obsidian. Not just a mirror, a portal. It's the one they only used in times of extreme hateration. Kristina lit the black flame candle and flipped through the toad skin bound grimoire.
It's okay because I'm not a virgin. But I said, I found it.
I found it. What did you find?
The spell to summon Billy Zane.
The bringer of velvet chaos and questionable nautical decisions. I don't know.
Velvet chaos.
I love that.
His aura is purple.
It is. It's purple and glittery. So here we go. This is the spell to summon Billy Zane. By moonlit glare and villain smirk, by midnight cloak and leather work, by eyebrows sharp and absinthe vein, we call the 4th Lord Billy Zane.
Lord Billy Zane.
Lord Billy Zane. Not of mummy fame, we know that's wrong. That's Brendan Fraser, bless his biceps strong. But you, O Zane, of boat-bound blunders, of sinking ships and social thunders, Caledon of diamond spite, we summon you on this cursed night. Step through the glass, you time-warp king, with velvet cloak and vengeance ring. Deliver us from trolls and fools, with smolder sass and dramatic rules. By Zorro's cousin and demon knight's flame, appear, appear, Sir Billy Zane! Also, please bring snacks. The mirror rippled. Hey.
Whoa. Billy.
Coraline's like,
he comes in
off, Punky.
From a Cats musical, like,
perfect timing, Coraline. The mirror rippled. A breeze swept through the room, smelling faintly of oak moss and forbidden cologne. The mirror in the corner rippled like water. Lightning cracked across the suddenly moonless sky, and from the depths of the other world emerged Billy Zane! Shirt half buttoned, wearing a velvet cloak, because he's the velvet bringer of chaos, and leather gloves for absolutely no reason. Did someone receive a low vibration opinion? I heard someone's been talking shit, he said, swirling a goblet of absinthe that wasn't there 2 seconds ago. Justina said, as always, you arrive on time, fashionably. Justina handed him a scroll, the Spotify comment oozing in a black tar-like gunk. Ugh, Billy muttered, sniffing the scroll like it was a spoiled perfume. Textbook internet troll. Weak aura. Overcompensating with a SoundCloud account. Kristina and Justina nodded gravely. Billy said, do you want me to summon Kylie's chickenpox curse?
No, we're not hexing Billy.
No, we're not. Oh, this is me. Yeah, we don't want to hurt our hater. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. We just want to turn his hurtful words into something that we can use in a more positive way, something more productive. Billy Zane hand over his heart. Ah, yes. This time I offer transformation. He flips through his leather-bound pocket grimoire, ideal for time traveling, various different dimensions via time portal, and he stopped at a page that caught his attention. Ah, I found the perfect one! The Garden of Commentary spell. Billy reached into his velvet satchel, because obviously, and pulled out a trowel made of moonstone and Mercury retrograde resilience. Oh, Billy says. You've got a garden, don't you? Let's plant something useful. He motioned toward the back garden of the studio. I like we have a garden in the back of our studio.
That's sweet.
That's so clutch. Half rosemary hedge, half wild cosmos, and in the center, a newly tilled bed surrounded by candlelight and microphones.
That is so magical. Oh my gracious.
Love that.
Okay.
So Kristina reads the scroll that he handed to her.
For every word meant to wound, we plant, we root, we harvest soon. Transmute the sting, uplift the tone. No hate can thrive in seeds we've sown.
And Justina continues, smiling. What trolls intend as petty spite shall compost into sound bites bright. For every jab, a clever bit. For every sneer, a show's new skit. And they chanted together, winding their voices through lavender stems and rosemary sprigs. Billy Zane poured the printed comment into the soil-like mulch. He snapped his fingers, and it transformed from the tar-like ooze into a cloud of glitter and stardust. A zinnia burst forth, blooming with faint pink audio waveforms on its petals. Billy Zane says, congratulations, every hateful comment from now on.
Fertilizer.
For content.
Yeah.
Every backhanded comment becomes a podcast segment. Every you talk too much becomes a themed episode on reclaiming your voice. Every ugh Geminis becomes a 2-part astrological deep dive. So have fun with that, hater. Have fun listening to all that content. And if ever the energy feels heavier than you can compost, he handed them a small garden bell, forged from silver and sass. Billy Zane says, ring this, and I'll come pull your weeds. And the garden, it keeps growing and growing, cosmos shaped like quotation marks, time that giggles when watered, and a tiny stone plaque that reads, planted by Billy Zane, grown by the Stinas, harvested with love and pettiness.
I love that so much. I want a garden bell. That's so powerful. I love that.
How cute. So
I have a whole zinnia and Cosmo section also, and it would be perfect there.
Yeah.
I want a little Billy Zane flag.
that comes with our action figures.
Yes. I love that. That was great.
Yeah, so just turning the negative comments into something we can, use and fuel our creativity.
Thank you, Billy. We do get comments that are constructive. And the one comment was so nicely put. It was like the nicest way you could say, like, hey, girls, tone it down a little bit. And that was in relation to our sound bites. And that they kind of took you out of the story or out of our cadence a little bit. So we did end up toning it down. But we love a constructive criticism. Like, we're all about it. And we will cater to what our listeners like. So we appreciate the ones who do come forward and tell us, hey, maybe calm down.
In a nice way. Like, don't be coming for Geminis and shit. Like, that's just not cool, right? Yeah. So, as long as you're not making the jabs personal. I mean, but we did make it personal on our roast episode, right? We came for, like, we took that hater comment and then we were like, okay, well, if somebody else is going to talk shit about us, we're just going to talk shit about us too. So then, like, I think we would like to think we're self-aware enough that,
Yeah, you think you can hurt us? We are our biggest bullies. So watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
So Justina's idea of a spell jar is a 32-ounce iced coffee with a single rosemary sprig taped to it. Not even fucking washed rosemary sprig.
Listen, it's not iced today. It's hot, but I do come caffeinated.
The tea is hot.
I always come caffeinated. Okay. Bold words coming from a woman whose idea of rebellion is wearing leather pants under her church robe.
Guilty. Fucking guilty. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Honestly, between the two of us, we have the witchcraft skills of like a half-baked Pinterest board and a bottle of top shelf, quote, top shelf, powder margarita mix from Home Goods. Yes.
Without the tequila in it. It's just the powder.
Just the powder. We're just eating that shit like Fun Dip. I remember that.
Oh my God. Still 90% more effective than Jimmy Angelo's game.
So that's what we did. We roasted each other. We roasted all the characters from Practical Magic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was just a fun all around like jib jab kind of episode. We were like, we're all about the jabs, and I think that was probably one of our most fun episodes to date.
It was. We hadn't done anything like that before because I don't like to pick on people, but
I know.
roasting is, you know what you're getting. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe we'll do another one in the future. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
And then episode 121, we did another elemental series. We did the air episode.
And these kind of went along with the months that they were coming out in, because that was during Gemini season. I got to roast myself, and then I got a little pat on the back with the air and learning about Geminis and Libras and the other one. What's the other one?
Yeah, what is the Aquarius?
Aquarius,
yeah. So then moving on to episode 122, this was our astral projection episode, and I think in this episode we got to deep dive a little bit further down that rabbit hole, and also some controversy surrounding a TikTok video that we posted about Jillian and how she got from Arizona to New England in one evening and back, right?
Right. But we also learned about like FBI and CIA conspiracy stuff with government, the government using astral protection to find people and things and espionage and all that, which was kind of cool.
Like remote viewing or whatever they call that. Yeah, that was a fascinating episode in and of itself. And then episode 123, we did our snowballing off of the astral projection episode and Jillian's, getting from point A to point B.
This one wanted to be heard.
Right, exactly. This is our Drive for Miles song-episode number 13, and this is Jillian's song about how she just wants to get to Sally, and that whole scene where she's driving, listening to her Joni Mitchell, and I just really love this song.
I do too. It's beautiful.
A clip of it here.
Propped up in my ashtray, I love that one of you. I got my Joni playing, singing to her, helps get me through the long and winding roads. There's no place that I wouldn't go as long as I was getting to you. You'll never notice that I even left now. I'm way out here. I even put a little belladonna in his beard to help ease him to sleep. There's no promise I wouldn't keep. Since leaving, then I know as for you, I would drive for miles just to lie next to you. Even if you're hurting, we don't have to say a word. If all you need to do is cry or just be, I would drive for miles.
Yeah, love that song. And then moving on to episode 124. This was a really exciting episode for us to put together because this was in celebration of our album release, right? Our very first EP that we released together, finally, that we spent, God, we signed our contract with Plaid Dog summer of 2023, right?
Okay.
The summer. And then that following September, we went to Boston to record Magnolia Street, the first single, did our crowdfunding campaign for like a month, raised $11,000 to get back into the studio, and then by March, April of 2024, we were back in the studio and recorded the whole thing, full production, everything. And then we didn't realize it was going to take us an entire year to do post-production.
Basically.
So
basically.
we did post-production from, I don't even think we touched anything until, we got back from recording like April 2024, went that entire summer, and then I think Mike started on stuff maybe the fall or even the winter.
We had the plan. We wanted to release this album for Samhain
That's
of
right.
2024.
Last
That did
season.
not happen.
That did not happen.
So, you know, there were little tweaks and we wanted to get this perfect for you guys.
Yeah.
So I think we released this on the solstice, didn't we?
Yes, ultimately we ended up releasing it on the solstice. I think we wrapped post-production around the same time that we had wrapped recording the previous year. So it took us an entire year of post-production, literally, I think to the day. When we got our masters back, then it took us an additional like month or two to set up, you know, the rollout of the album and like getting our pre-sales all figured out and Bandcamp site set up and all that. So then it was like an additional 2 months of like setting all that up until we finally did release it on the solstice. And this next episode 124, Welcome to the Neighborhood album release special. I think that was on the solstice we released, or around it, right? So that was in celebration of that. And this episode was so special to us because we got such sweet fan feedback and voice messages from people.
From the band and the players in the studio. Yeah, and the producer, and just revisiting like all those fun little moments of being in the studio together. And that was the first time, at least for our single, that you and I met. And
That's right.
I think revisiting that was so special.
It was very special. I love listening back to this episode every time. I just like want to relive all of that. And the culmination of all of that, and like seeing the fruits of our labor, like seeing a complete final product that we're able to say, hey, we did this. We did this.
We recently talked to somebody about crowdfunding and how we were able to do this. And they had shared like, oh, like I tried to do crowdfunding for this project and wasn't able to do it. And in my mind, I was like, there was no question of yes or no, would we be able to do this? We were doing it. It was going to happen. And I remember thinking that like you and I, fire and air, it was going to happen because we feed it off each other in that way. And and there's more to come.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah, there is more to come, everybody. You just wait. And also the fact that whole crowdfunding bit that you just shared, Kristina, it came from somebody who, you know, is very accomplished, right? And to hear that they didn't succeed with their crowdfunding when they did it, it kind of made me feel like, ooh, we did that, you know?
We're on to something.
Yeah. So it's just very exciting. And yes, when me and Kristina decide, when we put our minds to something, we have discovered that there's nothing that we can't do together, right? It's wild how
it's scary how we get shit done.
We do get shit done. And sometimes we talk to people and they're like, how do you guys do it? You guys like are really on top of your shit. I have to tell you, when I got together with Mallory and Lauren, when I played with Crimson Calamity, we chilled for a little bit afterward, right? And, you know, we're talking. And both of those girls were very sweet. And they were just like, how do you guys, because they had a podcast before, you know, they were doing the music thing. Well, in correlation with their music thing, they were doing the podcast plus the band thing, plus the recording thing and the touring thing. Like they have a lot going on too. Like those girls are so busy. I don't even know how they do it all.
Right. It's impressive.
So for them to say to me, how do you and Kristina like do a podcast and like all of that? And like, I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. We have no life outside of this podcast.
We really don't.
So
we're all thinking about the next episode, the next move, the next way Practical Magic can seep into our lives just a little more every day.
And how we can get more music out there, right? In other ways than we already have. And we have so much more music, not only to record, but to debut. To write. I'm still writing. And Kristina has little nuggets that she's been sending me. And she's like, have you checked the Dropbox yet? Have you checked the Google Drive yet? And I'm like, I know. Let's just get through the end of this season.
Yes.
And then we can get back to the music, which is kind of why, if I'm being honest, I've been very not hesitant, but not throwing as many actual notes into this episode. I just had like bullet points because I've just been attached to my guitar for the past like 2 weeks.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome.
I've got a little more pep in my step after our little Zoom call that we had the other night.
I'm so happy.
Even before that, actually. I think it was like a week before that. And mind you, I've been battling this like respiratory, like infection, cough, whatever the fuck this is.
Right.
So it's so frustrating trying to write music and vocalize your ideas when every 2 seconds you're like,
your body is not cooperating. Oh,
it is so frustrating. But I was like, I need to get these ideas out, you know?
You're going to have some really fun voice memo notes to share with me later on down the line. We're like,
you're gonna hear coughing now just thinking about it, but you're gonna hear all of them.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were talking about our album release special, and it was just a very special episode. Maybe we could pop in a couple of those voice notes here, because I just want to read to them all. You know, they're so sweet. I want to leave this episode off with some really sweet words from some of our listeners.
I'd love that.
Yeah. So let's take a listen.
Hey guys, it is Haley, aka Little Gold Dust Woman, aka your chosen internet generic store brand Jillian Owens. Kristina, Justina, there is so much to be said right now. I first just want to say how excited I am for you guys. I know that this has been a long time coming and that you've been working forever on this album. I am so excited to hear it. I remember the first time I played an episode of your podcast and I heard that theme song come on, Magnolia Street, and I was immediately like, oh my goodness. This sound, this lyricism just totally embodies the feel of Practical Magic. Both the book and the movie are so different from each other, but the one thing that they share overall is that warm, woman-empowered tone. And you guys just truly, truly put that into your music. So I'm so excited to hear this album in full. Listening to all of the song-episodes are always so much fun. As someone who also dips their toes into singing and songwriting, it's so fun for me to see other singer-songwriters process and what that looks like for them. So that's always been really fun to listen to. And so now to get to hear all these songs in full, in their full entirety in production, is just so excited. I'm just so excited to hear it. And I really hope that other people find this music and will stumble into the world of Practical Magic and just feel all the amazing things that Practical Magic brings to all of our lives through your guys' music. And really, I think the only thing left to say is congratulations. I'm so excited for this record, and I love you guys so much. Congrats!
Hey there, Stinas. This is Lori, one of your OG followers. I am so excited for the release of your album. I've been waiting for this for so long. Not as long as you have, but this is going to be great, and I can't wait to hear it all put together and the release to come out. It's so exciting that you guys are following your dreams. Keep up the good work.
Yay, the Stinas, you creative, brave, awesome souls, you. Happy release day of your first EP. I'm utterly thrilled for you both to go on this creative culmination of the last couple of years. I'm very much looking forward to hearing the track Magnolia Street in its entirety, as the upbeat rocking chorus gets me bopping every time I hear the podcast every week. Enjoy the fruits of your labour, girls, and have a fantastic summer solstice. You both deserve it. Bless you.
I can say that I am a true diehard Practical Magic fan, and I love the soundtrack, the original soundtrack of Practical Magic. I literally listen to it like maybe 20 times a week. But Magnolia Street from the Stinas, Justina and Kristina, I have to say that it is something else. Something magical within itself. It doesn't remind me of the movie Practical Magic, but it reminds me of what if there was like a series on Practical Magic of the Owen sisters growing up on Magnolia Street. Every time I hear that song, it gives me that feeling like I'm a teenager, gotta rush home, gotta watch my after school special and watch the Owen sisters get into something on Magnolia Street, and that is the theme song.
Hey witches, Alex Clark here, and I literally can't wait for these songs to be released. I had goosebumps when I first heard your studio versions. I'm so pleased you got to do this, and I hope tons of people hear your magical music. Good luck, and thank you, Stinas.
I also just wanted to add really quick, you guys don't have to put this in the episode if you don't want to, but I just want to say, to my knowledge, there is no other Practical Magic concept album, and that is like genuinely a crime. So you guys are doing a public service to all of us in this fandom. We have something to hold us over and to listen to over and over again until Practical Magic 2 comes out next year. So like, thank you guys so much for doing this. It's gonna be so freaking cool. I'm so stoked. I just wanted to add that in there, just for you guys. All right, bye.
Hey, little witches, this is Mallory. I just wanted to drop a quick note and say how proud I am of both of you for sharing your hearts with everybody and your creativity and your magic. I cannot wait to hear these songs. I've really enjoyed all of the song-episodes and all the little tidbits that you've been giving us up until now, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of can't wait for the main course. You know what I mean? I can't wait for the rest of the world to hear these songs. I can't wait to hear these songs in the way that you intended, and these studio versions I know are gonna be just gorgeous. You girls worked so hard, and it's been a long road, but I know the wait is just going to make it that much better to finally have the payoff. And I know it's the first step of many for you. So I just wanted to say thank you so much as a listener, and love the podcast, love you girls, and I know I'm going to love this music.
Wow.
Really sweet.
Wow. Y'all,
Really sweet.
Y'all really believe in us.
I'm overwhelmed.
We're so grateful.
Right? Yeah. They're so sweet. All right, so then episode 125 was another elemental series, and this one we did fire, right? This one was snowballing off of that solstice energy, so I thought fire was appropriate to do for around this time. Episode 126 was the sparrow and the rule of 3, and then we did the episode 127, the anemoia. Kristina brought this fascinating word into our orbit, and we had to go down the rabbit hole on it and tell us a little bit about what that word means.
Well, I didn't realize how many vocabulary words we learned in season 3. Staunched, anemoia.
Anemoia.
What was the other one? Channing Paltatum.
Channing Paltatum.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
I loved all the episodes that we had so far in season 3.
Right.
And I'm always like, okay, how can we not just give y'all the, hard and fast information about mythology and everything like that? And I was like, what really stands out to practical magic? And that's the nostalgia of it. And I wanted to just talk about why it makes us feel that way. And anemoia is the feeling of nostalgia for a place that you've never been or a time you've never lived in. And I was like, that is practical magic right there. And I know we get that feeling a lot with music. And I'd always wanted to know the science behind nostalgia linked to music. So I think both of those things culminated in this anemoia episode. And this, if you want to go into the safe little hole that is the practical magic world, this one is the one you want to listen to. Yeah. Just talking about all the feel good feels that you get from the Owens house, right?
Yeah. And do you remember we went into some past life regression stuff?
That's right. Oh yeah, yours was very deep. Yes.
Yeah. That was fascinating. And on that episode, we learned that me and Kristina might have been was it twin flames? Something like that? Right? I don't know, but basically our friendship, our bond has transcended space and time over many lifetimes, it seems, right?
It has.
We are creatively connected in some weird way.
Celine. Yes.
That's right. You're back. I forgot your name was Celine. I am not French.
La
Bohème Magique. Great episode. That anemoia
was
episode
really good.
Was a good one. Juicy. Yes, go listen to that one, guys. And then episode 128, we talked about Gypsophila, also known as, or better known as, baby's breath. And that was in reference to the beautiful flowers that Franny and Jet have in their hair. And the girls, right? Kylie and Antonia. When they return home from the summer solstice, their hair is just adorned with these cute little baby's breath flowers. And I feel like it never really got much attention. And I always like to imagine in my mind, why were they crowned with these little flowers?
For something that's not mentioned or focused on or even a part of the story, it plays no role in the plot. You found a lot. I remember this one being really freaking cool to learn about. There's different varieties and different meanings as far as the Victorian language of flowers. This one was really, really neat.
Yeah, I think this one was overdue. I think I wanted to do this one last summer when we debuted our song-episode for our summer solstice song.
Yeah.
Because we have the lyric in there, a baby's breath flower crowned in their hair, right? It's one of our lyrics in that song. So I think that kind of was the catalyst for me wanting to dive further down that rabbit hole and doing a whole magic and lore episode about about the baby's breath.
Glad you did.
I think that episode was a little overdue, but we did it nonetheless. And I think you can connect that episode back to our summer solstice song-isode, so go listen to that one too. I think we have playlists for different things, like summer episodes, and the elemental episodes all have their own playlists now. And I think we want to start a spooky playlist for our spooky episodes. This was going into July now at this point, right? We episode 129, we did our water elemental series, and that was kind of paired alongside episode 130, which was our nautical superstitions and maritime lore episode. We did all like the oceanic kind of like sailor
mermaid month
lore and all. Mermaid month, exactly. That was July was mermaid month. So I don't know if you could find a clip of a spooky story from one of those episodes. Probably the maritime lore. We did like a lot of old maybe ghost ship. We talked about all the ghost ships and stuff too, right? That was cool. And speaking of ghost ship, I have a spooky story about
a story for me later. Okay, all right.
Later on, stick around, guys. We're gonna get into some spooky stories. We have a couple spooky stories from some of our listeners, and just some the spookiest occurrences that have happened on Magnolia Street during the past year of recording, because we've had a couple, right?
I want to hear about it.
Yeah, episode 130. This was fun because news and all the tea about the filming of Practical Magic 2 had started to drop, right? Because they were thick in the filming of Practical Magic 2 around, I want to say maybe late July, early August, right?
Right. Yeah, we started getting all those little trickles and those little behind the scenes clips. So we just did this one big blowout episode, which was like the first one. And then I think like the consecutive weeks after that, we were like, we need to talk about this now. So we would do our lives, right? In tandem with the episodes we were recording. So like the 132, which was Essex Witches, that one, I was like blown away with your research, especially with what you found with what was behind the scenes in the photos we were getting from production for Practical Magic 2 and like the fictitious historical stuff that they were working on, to fit in with the story, and the Essex Witches tales. I love this one so much.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun to put together. And I forget the name of the documentary. I think it's actually called just Essex Witches, and it's available for free on Tubi. Anybody can go watch it for free if you want to. But there was so much juicy stuff in that documentary alone that I was able to pull from and like kind of correlate between why Alice would have chosen Essex as a place for the origins of the Owens lineage. Exactly. I'm kind of sad that it was only like a couple weeks that all the stuff was like bam, 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 and then nothing, right?
And then it was like, we wrapped, we're done.
And then, we're like, and then Nicole Kidman posted that wrap post on Instagram, and we're like, what? That's it? Like, I thought we were gonna have at least like another month or maybe two of more news to keep doing our lives in the morning and catching up on that. But
now we know we can, and we will try to do more of those in season 4. But the next one that came up was 133, and this one I feel like was a long time coming also, because you wanted to do this either earlier this season or even last season,
right?
Because you had done your Pokeberry ink.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The magical, what is that? Episode 133 on magical inks. Correct. So this episode actually lit the fire under my ass to edit a video together that had been a long time coming. I think I filmed this, and I filmed my Pokeberry ink video, I think September of 2022, before me and you started a podcast.
Whoa.
So it was that long ago. I remember I was gonna edit that video, and then I had the idea, like, hey, we should start a podcast. And then we hit the ground running, and then that video just fell by the wayside, and I was like, Pokeberry can wait. Pokeberry can wait. We have a unicorn here to ride. Do you follow what's her fucking name? She's like an artsy fartsy influencer. I can't remember her name right now, but is it a donkey or is it a unicorn?
What?
She has this like analogy about when you have a creative idea, it's like getting on a bull or like a donkey or something, and you gotta ride that.
Hang on to that.
Gotta hang on to it until you see it through. That's like how we were when we were like okay, we're starting the podcast. It's time to hit the ground running, and everything else doesn't even matter anymore, you know?
I could see that. Yeah. So I'm glad you did that one, because that was really cool, like learning about kind of the chemistry and alchemy behind this, the magical inks. So that one was really cool.
Okay, her name is Leonie Dawson. Yeah, so she had like a little mini workbook on how to like ride the donkey.
Okay, that's cute.
I saw this years ago and I was like, I'm inspired. Tell me more.
Let's use that catchphrase. I can't right now. I'm riding the donkey.
You know, I'm working on a new song when I'm riding a donkey.
That's right. Then we did Changelings and learned there was murder involved in the idea of like the changeling child or fae taking over somebody's person. So episode 134 was Changelings. Do you remember the woman's name?
Oh, shit. I'm blanking. Something Cleary. Bridget Cleary? Bridget? But Morbid Podcast did an entire deep dive on the whole situation. I actually listened to that episode. I was actually listening to some of our episodes back, trying to prep for this episode. Like, what did I miss? Like, what, you know, I went and listened to their episode, and there was like a whole bunch of stuff, obviously, that, you know, we fit the Bridget Cleary's, like a chunk of a segment into an entire episode, but their entire episode was that, right?
Yeah.
So they really went through all the little twists and the turns and like things that happen within the town. Wow. And apparently what I learned from their episode, which I don't think we talked about on our episode because we didn't really have much time to get into, you know, the backstory and stuff. She was a very not well off woman, but she was a very independent woman. She was a businesswoman, and a lot of the people in her town, especially the men, were threatened by that.
Wow.
And apparently I think she was a seamstress, and she had sold eggs or like produce or something like that. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but she had this, I think, an uncle or some family member, extended family member. I don't remember exactly, because it was like now already a month ago that I listened to this episode.
Right.
But what I learned was that this man that she was selling eggs to or whatever, like he owed her money, and she went to collect the money from him. And I guess he didn't like the fact that he owed her money and she was calling him out for it. So he started this whole like rumor about her
oh no.
So basically it was like a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
because
my God, that they got away with.
This woman is, you know, making her own money. And also there was a lot of talk in the town because she was married to this man, the man that ultimately ended her life or contributed to it anyway. And they had this weird relationship. Like they didn't really, I don't remember if they said that they might have lived separately, and like I don't know, there was like some kind of disconnect between the two of them, but like they seemed fine with it, and the town like didn't like that.
Okay.
So it basically, like, this woman, she was in total control of herself, right, witch, and they didn't like that. And also this man that owed her money didn't want to pay up, so he's like, all right, well, just
find a reason to make it seem like she is no longer Bridget.
Exactly.
She's changeling. We have a legal right, or, you know, we fully believe that she needs to be exercised or called back. So we're going to try to kill her.
Right. So he was putting the bug in her husband's ear that, like, she might have been taken by the fae or something. Like, that kind of the way that it spiraled.
Bastard.
But everybody go listen to not only our, was it the Changelings episode? Yeah, episode 134. But also go listen to that Morbid Podcast episode, because it's a lot juicier than the little chunk that we talked about it on our episode. So I would advise to just go listen to that. And then after I listened to the Morbid episode about Bridget, I started snowballing deeper into the Morbid Podcast catalog, because they have a lot of good episodes. A lot of it is kind of like serial killer murder kind of stuff, which, like,
I like that stuff.
I do, but I can't listen to it for too long, because I'm like, ooh, it just gives me the ick.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I get the spookies, and then I can't sleep at night because I'm like, somebody's standing outside of my window right now, right?
Yeah.
So
no, I binged them for a long time, and they deserve all the awards that they're getting, because it's just like really impressive. It's really impressive what they do.
I think they were just nominated for a Golden Globe, right? And I think think their Morbid podcast banner was just like in Times Square recently.
Yeah, good for you girls. Yeah, that's awesome.
They and to know like where they started, it's basically just like how we started, just like two girls
just like us.
Two girls and microphones, like they're just paving the way, like showing us what can be done by what we're doing right here. And I think that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And they also, their banter and the way that they talk reminds me a lot of how we kind of like shoot the shit back and forth, like, and really sarcastic and humorous. And
and they're related. They are aunt and niece, I think.
Are they? Okay. I was under the impression that they were sisters, but I think that makes more sense.
Yes.
And then the one of them is a mortician, or no, not a mortician. I think she
like a morgue assistant.
She does autopsies.
Yeah,
she does autopsies, which adds like a whole other fucking cool element to it because she's probably seen murders. She's probably seen, bodies that have gone through significant amounts of trauma, and to add her own knowledge and experience to their chit chats, I think it's really cool element. Anyway, not to get too off topic here, but that's just one thing that stuck out to me about the Changelings episode, is that I was able to, dive a little further down that rabbit hole by listening to their episode, and I think everybody should go listen to it. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, so then that brings us to episode 135, and did we do this one at the end of August, early September, the Preparing for Autumn, or another Witch's Garden series?
Yeah, just to get you going, just to get you started a little earlier so you had time to prep for autumn. And this was, I think, the 4th installment of this Witch's Garden series. Love doing these, love being in the garden. So that one was really cool.
Yeah.
And then we had the mandrake root kind of coming off of that. That had a shit ton of folklore go along with it. That was 136.
Yeah, do we remember how we spotted the mandrake root in the Owens grimoire that we may not have pulled out before from the movie, right? There was like a page that Sally flipped open to, and I'm like, hey, I was like, is that a mandrake root?
Justina's keen eyes saw that.
And then we learned about the Channing Peltatum.
Yes, we did.
And the way that these mandrake roots were harvested, right? They were to be pulled up by a black dog, which can also tie back to our black dog episode, which I think is fascinating because I don't remember talking about any mandrake roots on our black dog episode.
I can't remember. I cannot.
Maybe we did. Yeah, I don't remember either. I'll have to go back and listen. But the way that these mandrake roots were harvested, I thought was really fascinating. And where they were known to grow, like underneath the gallows.
Yeah, they had to metal.
How they had to have been like urinated on or something.
Or bled on. Yeah.
Like body juice from
the secretion. Yeah,
exactly. So that was a fascinating episode. Go listen to that one, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, because I think we do touch a little bit on the Harry Potter world in that episode. And then episode 137, we did it. We deep dived.
We did it.
We did it. This episode was chunky. Number 1. Number 2, the amount of research that went into this episode was insane.
I wanted to wait till the end to ask you what your favorite episodes were, but I'm just going to jump in and say the Magus had to have been my favorite episode. It was so good just because my mind was blown. I have, my top 5, but I think Magus took number 1 in my book for our episodes.
Yeah, and we learned something very fascinating and eye-opening on this episode. So this was about the Magus by Francis Barrett, and he was, I guess, like an esoteric writer of sorts, but he kind of compiled things from different
other occultists and philosophers and spiritualists.
Over the course of time, he just compiled all of this into one thing to make, I guess, more digestible for the modern era or whatever. But what we weren't told, or I guess we were led to believe in Alice's series, is that the Magus is this book that Vincent finds in like this, I guess, I don't remember, some old dusty book bin or something. He ends up finding this book and it leads him down the dark hand path, and like we're led to believe that this was kind of like a compilation of like stuff from like Matthew Hopkins, the General Witch Finder, and like the hangings in Salem and the Salem witch trials, and it kind of became this like warped version of, I don't know, like like the Malleus Maleficarum.
Yeah.
And it's not that at all, right?
At all.
It has nothing to do with that. Actually, in the how do you say it? In quite the contrary, or whatever, however you say it. It's more of not dark left-handed path at all. Like, we found that in order to use the magus, you had to have been quite enlightened and want to have been what's the word? Not divine, not
you had to be very dedicated virtuous to higher learning, to keeping your mind and your body and your morals very pure and straight and narrow, right? Like, you had to be very focused. If this was your calling, this was a vocation, like a priest would take, or, you know, a spiritual person would take, a monk.
Exactly. So I thought that was very fascinating, like the juxtaposition between the real magus and what Alice writes about how the magus is in her books, which I think is like even weirder, because she could have made it fictionalized and like given it like a whole other name, like she kind of did with the Book of the Raven. But she chose to call it the Magus by Frances Barrett, so now it puts this like stamp on it, like it's this specific thing, but it really isn't that at all.
Nope. Now we're gonna talk about it, and I really, this was my favorite episode. I'm gonna just say it. Put a stamp on it. Yeah,
I have to agree. And then we were able to go back to the Magus and pull, because remember, like, we kind of did like a general overview of the entire Magus as a whole, but if we really want to go back and like go down the rabbit hole and deep dive on certain little bits and pieces of certain things from that Magus, that's what we did later on in our necromancy episode. Remember, we went back and we pulled out all the bits from the Magus that specifically talk about necromancy in our necromancy episode, which was our most recent that we did last week. So yes, go listen to the Magus episode if you want your mind to be blown, because fascinating. And then next we had episode 138, all about the crow and corvids, right? Familiar magic and lore.
Yeah, that kind of started off our spooky season of episodes, right?
Yes. And then we learned that tickle. Kristina learned that crows and ravens can talk like that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Not to give you nightmare fuel or anything, you know.
Terrifying. Yeah.
It is terrifying.
But then after that, we rounded out the elemental series with episode 139, where we talked about spirit and quintessence, and we kind of touched on a few things from the Magus, like a couple words we had come up there that we had never heard before, and just gearing us up for not just spirit in ghosts, right? Not just that kind of spirit, but the spirit all around that is everywhere in between.
The universe, like how everything is all connected and nothing matters.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that quintessence. I feel like we would never intend to do this, but everything kind of like when we block our episodes and do like chunks of like different kinds of topics, they all kind of correspond, or they all correlate back to each other in some weird way.
Agreed.
Because you're right. We did the Magus episode, and then we did the spirit episode, and then the Hecate episode, and the necromancy episode. They all kind of like are in line with that spirit, that quintessence, that
ether. Yeah. Agreed.
So I love all the episodes that we just did. I think they're so fascinating. But, you know, all this research does come with a little burnout. So by episode 140, I think me and Kristina were ready to call a wrap on season 3 by then, right? 3 episodes ago. So we're just like, and I think it's around that time where I was full on sick.
You were very sick.
I was very sick with my cough, and like I was all about the tea, and Christina's like, let's just do a bullshit episode.
Because we had a very important episode we wanted to do. We wanted to talk about Hecate, but we weren't done with the notes. We needed to record more, but Justina was really under the weather. I said, let's push that back. Let's just chat. We'll make sure Hecate has her throne, her place on our podcast. So yeah, we just got to have a nice little chat, and you could be invited into our abyss. I don't know.
For a week. This is what I love about our working relationship, is that we're able to kind of pivot when we need to, and like we give each other grace, and you kind of have to when, we have all these different irons in the fire, and me and Kristina both have our own separate lives and day jobs, and maybe a guest popping in unannounced every now and then, and you're like, oh fuck, well now I have to entertain, so can't record today. So it just becomes, sometimes it does become a little difficult to get all the research and the recording in when we can, and editing which
every week,
because you've been taking on the brunt of the editing lately, and I've been like doing a lot of the notes lately. And
that's just because you're really good at the notes. I'm like, no, keep going. You go ahead, girl.
You've been really good at the editing,
except for last week when I put in that floating audio.
Wait, can we put it here for everybody so they can hear what it is?
Yeah, I'll put it in. It's in the water. But I actually have so let's finish out this, because I have a little treat for you, because those ending post credit audios are fucking funny.
You have like a string of them?
I do. Yeah, so we had our bullshit sewed, and then we got to deep dive into the dark goddess herself. 141, we talked about Hecate, and we got to sit down and chat with Llewellyn published author Vincent Higginbotham.
Yes.
And he was just so cool, and it made me feel so much better about working with Hecate if I chose to. He just had such a casual way of talking about it, like it is not that serious, girls.
Yeah. Kristina was scared for a long time to even say
scared.
Kristina, the whole like past 2 years we've been wanting to do this Hecate episode, and you're just like,
I want to wait. I need somebody to hold my hand.
Yeah. She's like, let's just. Well, you didn't say this, but it'd be funny if you were just like, let's just keep calling her Hecate so we don't ruffle any feathers.
Yeah,
Hecate, right? Yeah, so you definitely had your epiphany, like, oh, it is accessible. Like, she's not to be gatekeeped, as long as she's shown reverence and we don't approach her like Sally and Jillian approached her only when they needed something out of desperation, right? Yeah. You want to have a working rapport with a deity that you decide to dedicate yourself to, and that's really it, right? There's no reason to be afraid or intimidated otherwise, as long as you're doing your part and, doing your offerings, doing your dedications, and having a daily working relationship with her before you decide to go ask her to revive your dead boyfriend.
Right. Think ahead, girls. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's where I was like, I don't ask deity for anything, because I don't work with deity for anything. Right. But like knowing like I can just give to her without wanting anything back. Right. Is the main thing I took away. And that's what I want to do. That's what I did with the hair. I'm not asking for anything. I'm doing this for you, as like the, vanity or our femininity is so tied to our hair sometimes. I'm like, let me cut that, give that over to her, all of the bad shit that went along with it, and then she can just poof, take it
back into the underworld.
That's right.
Where it belongs. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I like how you had your Sally moment, right, with your chop. And dedicating your hair to the dark goddess herself.
Yes.
So I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing that we forgot to mention in our bullshit sode when we were talking about it, we had our very first on-air caller. Do you remember?
Oh,
my mother crashed.
Am I on the air? No, of course not. Oh, okay, good.
We need to replay that right the fuck now.
Oh my gosh,
roll the clip. Yeah, I do love me. Oh, my mother's calling me. Hold on. Let's see what my mother has. Let's put her live on the. We have our first caller. Wait, hold on.
Hello?
Hi, you're our first caller.
Hello?
Hi, you're our first caller.
Hi.
Welcome to Magnolia Street.
Kristina said, welcome to Magnolia Street.
Oh, where are you guys?
We're recording.
Oh, okay, goodbye.
Well,
you
wait.
had a date with me.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what date?
I asked you to go to the fair today, to the down in Fanwood.
Oh, that was today?
Train station. Yeah, it's today. That's fine. I'm sitting on the porch with your father.
All right. Quick
What's
question.
The question?
Oh, what is your favorite go-to tea when you're feeling under the weather?
What's it called? The stress-free tea. I just had it this morning.
Is there a brand name?
Yes. You know which one it is. The yogi tea.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yogi tea's good. Yeah.
Delicious.
Yes, I just had it this morning, actually, because I felt wasn't sure. My throat was a little sore, but I didn't want to take caffeine. Stress relief, honey lavender yogi tea.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, the lavender is good.
That sounds
honey
really
lavender
nice.
stress relief.
Did you know your daughter was sick too today?
No. You're sick? I'm not sick. I woke up with constant coughing at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I've had a cold the past few days and coughing too.
I'm not on the air right now, am I?
No, not at all.
Okay. You're scared. I was trying to talk all nice and distinctly for you.
They were just bullshitting.
Okay. Oh, okay. Where's Kristina?
She's in South Carolina.
Hi, Dee.
Is she on the screen with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Waving.
hi.
I thought of your mom the other day because I was working with Artichoke.
Did you hear her? Did you hear what she said?
Oh my gosh. Well, did she see our sweet potatoes?
No. Yeah, they planted sweet potatoes.
No,
They have.
You didn't see them?
No.
Your father, I sent a picture, was on Facebook. He put it on. I'll send it to you right now.
Are you gonna make some sweet potato fries?
Yeah, well, Norna was all excited when she saw the picture on Facebook. She called him.
Oh, wow.
She's like, you glued this? Yeah. Hey, I'm going to send it to you.
All right.
Want me to hang up?
No, you can send it to me later. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, you check it out. So we wanted to give you a couple, too.
Ooh, okay.
This is our whole harvest. All right. I'll send it to you now.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye. Thanks for calling WMSR.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Goodbye. Bye.
Love you, bye.
Okay. That was our first live call on the air.
I loved it. Dee, man, she slipped right into co-host.
Oh my god. She's like, I'm not on the air, am I? No, not at all. That was great. That was so funny.
She's adorable.
She's like, am I on the air? No, Ma, you're not. Keep talking, please. Okay, you call in more. Right?
Yeah, that was sweet.
It was so funny. And then yes, last week's episode, we had our episode 142. We deep dived into necromancy, and that kind of went in tandem with Hecate and you know the underworld and this resurrection scene that the girls do in the film. I like how so reminder, there was no resurrection scene in the first book, right? But they put it in the movie. And then what Alice did with the last 3 books, she kind of, even though she never referenced a resurrection scene or even Hecate herself in book 1, she took what the movie did and she kind of peppered in resurrection things and Hecate throughout her last 3 books, right? So I thought that was a really cool way that she was able to, I guess, keep that resurrection theme going.
Exactly.
The rest of her book.
Yeah. And that rounded out our episodes for season 3. However, during the season, we also created our very own hobgoblin, Gillum.
Gillum
came to work with us, didn't he?
Gillum
right?
needed an assistant very badly, right?
We lost our ever-loving minds over practical magic too. We got to talk to a few new people in regards to future projects we have coming up, which we might talk about a little bit later. We had the release of the album. But for all of you listeners that dip out before the end of the show, you're really truly missing out on some of our finest work. So I'd like to play for you now a little medley of the clips that you guys miss out on at post outro music.
I love that.
There you go.
We need a boss.
Hard, we do. Manager.
This is like, whatever. What's going on? How long have we been doing this? I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
When the Sag and the Gemini truly shine.
Oh my god. I'm Justina.
I'm Kristina.
And we'll see you next time. Whoa. That was low. She's breaking out her Cher voice. That was awesome.
Aaron and I watched a Cher and Bowie medley. They were singing together. Speaking of hair, she had this big red severe wig going on. I was very impressed with Bowie's vocals in that.
I love Cher's hair.
I do too.
She's got the best hair. All right, man.
Borderline Shakira?
A little bit.
Her Shakira is real good.
She's more like la 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 la.
Shakira and a banana tree have infiltrated Aaron's vocabulary.
Oh, no. Stop. That's so funny. Peanuts?
A banana tree?
What? There are no olives here. There are no olives here. Olives? Bring out the olives.
I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a snake. I'm a slithery little sneaky snake. I'm so slithery and sneaky because I'm a snake. Slithering in your garden.
Where are you?
I'm so sorry.
That's the best. Okay.
It was probably even better that you couldn't see me for a second.
That was probably your midsummer experience.
You need to go touch grass. Go touch grass or something.
Yeah. Yes. Get your feet in some dirt, bitch.
I love telling people to go touch grass, right?
Yo, fucking it up for all the people that's in the streets.
Christina's just gonna keep singing until the garbage truck is gone.
This is a song for the people in the streets, not the people city hall. I don't want to get sued.
It's fine. Not if we get sued. It's fine that you're. I mean, we're not like actually like playing the song on the air. So
I mean, from all the other shit we've spliced into our episodes, take your pick.
I know. Really.
Bring out the olives.
Bring out the olive, or let's clean house.
Right. That was awesome.
Avi loves my ghost noises.
Diamonds. It's loud in my mouth.
That's me.
Anytime I would sing that, though, it was like, I see your eyes burning on the road, but it always sounded like I see your ass burning on the road. I see your ass burning on the road.
I wrote a song that was on my first EP called I Get So Lonely, but I can't listen to it without hearing I Get So Horny. I guess my enunciation back in the day wasn't so good.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it really does sound like I'm saying I get so horny.
I just described the scene, and it's spitting out fire everywhere.
Oh, it's spitting fire. Lord, there was a fire.
Grab no shoes for nothing, Jesus.
What did she say?
I went down and gave me a cold pop.
Lord, there was a fire. That lady's so funny.
Got bronchitis. I know we got time for that.
Nobody got time for that. That's what I was trying to think of. Ain't nobody got time for that. That remix is chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take another peek right now at this.
It's so sweet.
This adorbs.
No, it's so sweet.
It's so cute.
I love it.
They're so good to us. What do we ever do to deserve it?
I know, nothing. We made some bomb-ass music is what we did.
We did, but we just like, don't shut the fuck up. Who knew that people want to send us gifts for talking?
It's a number 3 Gemini's dream come true.
Right? Yeah, like you could have told me in the 5th grade when my teacher was like, Justina, go sit in the back of the class and shut the fuck up.
I'm talking.
Stop talking. And now we're getting rewarded. So who fucking knew?
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. Bye.
Dude, my head hurts, but I'm dying because I'm now remembering, I think, that Salve Regina song from Sister Act. Salve Regina, Mata, Mata, Inta, Marata, Santos, Santos, Dominus. Is that Ave Maria or Salve Regina? I don't know. Hallelujah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those poor souls dragging their asses through season 1,
Oh
half
my
of
God.
season 2. Just wait.
I am so baffled by anybody who has made it this far and has actually listened to every single episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe they're like, okay, there are so many episodes, they have to get better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we do. I think even our earlier episodes that kind of sound crappy and like we don't really have our shit together as far as format is concerned yet, they're still enjoyable to listen to because we're just being ourselves, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We're a shit show. We're still gremlins, but now we're a little more polished gremlins.
We have Gillum on our side.
Gillum, he's definitely
and
a Virgo.
Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina A. Ingram.
No, you tell me where the snakes are, because I don't like
snakes are in here. I want you to get a look at them.
Hey, yeah, you're right. I'll stand right here.
Now wait a minute. You don't understand how many there are.
Dude.
You see all them snakes right there?
Yeah.
You see them snakes right there?
Yeah.
They're my babies. Okay. I care more about them snakes than I do a human life. Just like that, man. Okay. Them snakes mean more to me than any human being ever born, man. I don't know what it amounts to. I believe in God and I don't pray to Satan, but I feel the need to build these altars. You know, I usually hang feathers from there.
Hey, is there any more snakes back here? Is there any more snakes back here?
I swear to God, I won't let nothing happen to you.
Is it? Wait. Is the snake in there?
I hope.
Man, I'll tell you what to do. Oh, yeah. Man, that's all right. I don't want to see no more. No, I'm gone, man. Okay.
I don't care what damn kind of snake it is. I'll hypnotize it. Man, I ain't scared of none. I ain't scared of the devil himself.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm hungry. Can you hear me mouth breathing? Mighty hectate, make me not sick anymore.
Need you to sing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot.
Swing low, swing chariot. Yo, I tell you, I got that bass note right now.
You do.
Applaud. Applause.
Applause, applause.
Put in an applause sound bite right there. That was, yeah, that was.
You gotta put in your ghost noise. And it's in the water. I don't even know what that's from. I think it's Angela Bassett. I don't know what it's from though. But
wow.
There you go. There you go. So that was only season 3. We had so many good ones in season 2. I'd have to go back, but I can't remember any. But I thought that was fucking funny.
Holy shit.
Yeah, bro.
Yo, somebody should give us our own talk show.
Bring out the olives!
Bring out.
No!
Bring out the motherfucking olives.
I had something else for you because you gave me your birth time and location this year. So I got to learn a little bit more about you astrologically. And I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense now.
Okay.
And Astro Cafe does like a compatibility thing. I think it's more for lovers.
Okay. Well, I mean, what you are the Celine to my whatever the fuck my name was.
Your Dion.
My Dion.
I did our compatibility between our charts. And instead of having it say like lovers or whatever, I think it says part something like that. So I wanted to go through that real quick.
Nice.
And it has our layout here. I have no idea how to read this, but then it does break down like the aspects. So I wanted to tell you about those. I read a little bit about it.
Okay.
There's challenging aspects, positive aspects, and I don't see any negative aspects, so maybe it's just challenge. So this says, the following aspects between planets concern the possible relationships between 2 charts, Justina and Kristina, especially the emotional, romantic relationships, but also aspects on social, intellectual, and spiritual levels. Analysis of a relationship is, of course, very complex. While some aspects can be considered on their own, difficult for most people, some will have an easier time with them. So anyway, let's start. Justina's opposition to Kristina's Mars. It says, this is a challenging aspect. Why, you may ask? It says they can interrupt each other often. Problems can arise when one or the other finds their colleague too blunt or critical. I'm like, yes, true.
That checks.
When involved in a discussion, they can compete for the microphone. That checks as well. Conversations can be very lively.
I feel sorry for our special guests whenever we interview somebody.
I know.
Because, like, I never know when to interject, and speaking out of turn, like, it's always been, like, a fear of mine to, like, you know, when you raise your hand in the class.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, not yet. Put your hand down, Justina. And I'm just like, okay. Shut the fuck up until Kristina done talking. So
I'm sorry. No, I can see this because we both have like our squirrel brains are like, no.
I know.
So,
I know. That's so true.
This says that it may often escalate into arguments. I can see this more so when we're trying to communicate with Marco Polo.
Yes.
Because it's like you got to talk one at a time and it's like, no, that's not what I said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be about the clothing.
It doesn't have to be about the clothing. Insert clip here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So then we have Justina's conjunction Kristina Mercury Saturn. I don't really know what this means, but it tells us here that this is a positive aspect. If Mercury is looking for guidance or mentorship in a partner, then this aspect is very favorable. Saturn will give a lot of the intellectual level and in work matters in general. So I think we're always learning from each other.
All right. So wait, I'm the Mercury and you're the Saturn? Is that how that works?
Your Mercury, your way of communicating is conjunct with my Saturn, it says.
What does conjunct mean? Like works with or against?
Let me look it up.
I have no idea.
Let me look it up. What does conjunct mean with astrology? When 2 or more planets are very close in the sky from Earth's perspective, causing their energies to merge and blend into a single powerful force.
Tenacious D.
It's a good thing.
I'm the Tene and you're the Shus D. And our butt cheeks, when combined,
right,
can move mountains.
It can move mountains. River deep, mountain high. Yeah, this aspect is considered one of the strongest in a birth chart, amplifying the traits of involved planets and creating focal points for personality traits. So good. Okay, so conjunct is good.
Okay.
Opposition is probably not so good. Square, I'm not sure. Trine, I am not sure. Do you want me to look those up or just keep reading?
If it comes up.
Okie doke. Okay. Yeah, so that's good. Then we have an opposition here. Justina opposition Kristina's moon and Saturn. Okay, this says planetary aspect that does not augur well for ease.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Augur
for ease in working together, as it can bring disappointment. However, it is frequently found in comparisons for long-term collaborations, so it is certainly manageable. It will be very important to avoid being too critical of one another to the point that one or both of them feel they need to censor or restrict what they say or do in the partnership. There you go. Then we have another challenging aspect here with this says Justina square Kristina Mars.
Oh, I guess maybe square means because we're both in Mars there, so maybe it's just like we're both equal there. So like square is the same on all sides. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. So challenging aspect, working side by side can be temperamental and conflict ridden. They might find that they frustrate one another easily or get in each other's way rather frequently. I think I frustrate you quite frequently.
That's happened from time to time, but I also feel the same for you though, because what I've noticed is that my squirrel brain likes to think 20 steps ahead, and I know that pisses you off because you're like a very kind of right now kind of person.
Come
you're
back down to earth.
You're like, I can only handle one thing at a time. And I'm like, well, what about 5 years from now?
No, girl, no.
So, I'm trying to think of the long term and the end goal, and I'm always trying to think of possible different outcomes of certain situations or things that we're working toward, right? And I don't know if it's so much pre-planning as it is trying to think of all the possible routes and outcomes that we can have and it can go.
That's anxiety, honey.
So, no, but it's not though, because listen, we've gotten to this point where we are now because of that feature in my brain.
Yes.
Because I'm always thinking ahead, and and oftentimes I am right about certain things.
Yes, you are.
So pat me on the back for my intuition, and and Kristina just has to deal with it.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just reading what the Astro Cafe is telling us.
I'm trying to explain myself.
Yeah,
I'm not crazy. I'm just trying to do what's best for the podcast. And
of course, no, I think with your experience in the music world and with different people, when I'm like, I want to do this now, and you're like, well, hang on, that's when you pull me back, and you're like, here's how we can play it smart though, and I'm like, I know you're right, okay, fine.
Kristina sometimes wants to be savage, and I'm like, well, our enemies can't know that they're enemies yet. We have to we got to go in the back door,
and then we'll leave the horse head in the bed.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Yeah. So then we have a trine with Venus and Mars, which is a positive aspect. This is a collaboration that is particularly based on strong mutual drive and energetic understanding. There's a lot of enthusiasm between them, and they need to express it in their work. Plenty of creative spark here. 100%.
Hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah.
That's exactly us to a T.
We have Justina conjunct Kristina, Saturn, and Pluto. So I'm guessing like maybe the first one is maybe Justina's Saturn is conjunct my Pluto, perhaps? I don't know. This is positive though. A favorable union. They help each other to achieve their ambitions and professional goals. Yes.
I have to say that is absolutely true, because you know me, I'm an introvert, and sometimes you have to pull out the stage persona, Justina. And when we have to interview a guest, and like now I have to be on, and like, it's a lot of work for me to be on. And
I remember you used to have to take naps after our interviews.
I still do. And like it's just learning how to manage that, I guess, that balance,
Yes.
Because being social for me, it does take a lot of my energy. So I know how to combat that. I have to like really rest and take care of myself after, which is fine.
Yeah.
But if it weren't for you, I would retreat a lot, and I'm shy a lot, and it takes a lot for me to be.
My mind.
It takes a lot for me to just slide into somebody's DMs and be like, "Hey, I want to be your best friend. We should work together. Let's collab and let's do this and that," and all the other things and,
So then we have Justina's Jupiter is conjunct my lunar node. So this is a positive aspect. They are well matched in vision. They go well together, have intellectual understanding and confidence in each other, a harmonious professional pair. Nice.
I like that.
We have another positive aspect with a conjunct Venus and lunar node. The partnership will be most pleasant. With a good intellectual and practical understanding, these two will work sincerely and have confidence in each other.
I think that lends nicely to all of our intellectual conversations and discussions and all the research that we do. And I like how we're able to compile that in a timely, most of the time timely manner, and come to the table with a really organized and well thought and put together, laid out kind of plan of attack on how we want to discuss a topic. I don't know how we do it. I don't know how we do it because we're both squirrels and we both have ADHD, but I mean, it's that Virgo rising maybe that pulls us back in and here's how you do it. And I don't know how we do it. We just do it.
Over the 3 years, we've just melded into this is how we work best together, and it shows, I think, in our show.
Yeah, I agree.
Then we have another positive aspect with your moon trining my Pluto. This says an uncontrollable great intensity, which might be a nuisance, we're annoying as fuck, as it sometimes lacks thought or control. Okay, but then it says jealousy, possessiveness, or an absolute need of the other's presence can be issues. Maybe Marcoing from the toilet, what are you doing? I need you on board.
Maybe.
However, when trust is in place, they will both appreciate that their collaboration is growth-oriented and far from lifeless routine. Their work together evolves over time, and they learn from each other, and on an emotional and professional level at every twist and turn. This fact is a treasure. The connection is transforming in nature so that they both feel renewed, almost like they are new people through their partnership.
Right. Yeah.
Then we have your moon squaring my Pluto, which is a challenging aspect. This says great intensity, but sometimes uncontrolled, with possible possessiveness, jealousy, and pressure. They must learn to let go sometimes. I think this is talking about me. So just let go of that control to allow the other some space without worry. Yes. Okay. All right. If the partnership ends, it can be very difficult to get over, as one or both may feel burned by the other.
Right. Yeah, but I don't think either one of us has any intention of going anywhere or dipping out on the other one. I feel like if we were ever to end whatever we have going here, it would probably be a mutual agreement. Maybe
it would be an in-depth, multi-part conversation.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think either one of us will be so on the fly to be all right,
ghost,
not doing it anymore. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it would definitely be a very, very intense, well thought out decision and conversation if it ever comes to that point.
Right. Then we have a positive aspect in Justina's Mercury being conjunct with my Neptune. So good, intuitive, and imaginative understanding. This is the kind of collaboration in which they finish one another's sentences. The connection encourages creativity.
Yeah. I'm sure that was so lovely for Avi to experience when we were together in the same room, in the same car, driving
hours,
5 hours there and back, and him having to just put up.
He
with
was a trooper.
Bullshit. Yeah, he really was.
Then we have your Venus, which is conjunct my Pluto. This is great because it's great transformative collaboration, very intense and growth oriented. I feel that we're not just plateauing. We're not this is good enough. We're what are we doing now? What irons are we putting in the fire?
Exactly. Yeah. I think that will always keep things interesting here if we keep that mentality, which I think we will, because I don't think it's either one of us to just be yeah, this is good enough. No, we want to reach for the stars. I think that's both of our intention. We don't want to be working our shit ass jobs forever.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. We hope this goes somewhere. I mean, that's hopefully, and that'd be great. I mean, that's not why we started things ultimately. We just really love the movie and love talking about it all the time and love making music about it and doing all the creative things. But that's not to say hey, we wouldn't like some reward for all the hard work we've put in. We've put in a lot of work, you know?
Yep, exactly.
So I think it's well deserved.
This
if
is
the universe feels so inclined to bestow that reward upon us.
Please.
Please and do. Thank you.
Yeah, please and do. Yes, this partnership is forcing us to evolve, and I can definitely see that.
And you know what? I really love that, and I feel like everybody needs somebody like that in their life, because
agreed.
I love my husband to death. I love him, right? But he's very comfortable with his life and his job and his, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he does have other ambitions and goals and dreams, but I think
Aaron's kind of the same way.
He's happy with the work he does, like his career that he went to college and has his degree for. Like whether he wants his job specifically right now or not, I don't know. Maybe he wants another job, but like that's his career path, and that's like kind of like what he sees himself doing until he retires, right?
Yeah.
But like I've always had my head in the clouds, stars in my eyes, like wanted to shoot for something way bigger than I could ever dream would be possible, and that's just always been how I was. And I feel very restricted. Like not saying like I don't love my husband, and like I love our
in that partnership
marriage
creatively,
right? But like creatively, like I do need somebody to challenge me and to help me grow, and to like want and to walk alongside of me toward the same trajectory. Like hopefully, like we can make something happen here.
We are making things happen.
I know, and like I feel like this relationship, this partnership that we've cultivated here on Magnolia Street, like it's so exhilarating, because I'm like, really, anything is possible. We've done so much up to this point, and we're just gonna keep doing the thing until like we really can't be stopped. I'm just gonna sip my coffee.
Yeah. Don't stop me now.
Don't stop me. Well, it's what's that song? That Queen song?
Yeah. And the words of our friend.
Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Yeah. Love that. Just watch that song come on at a wedding.
A ball. Yeah. It's a good song.
It's my jam. But yes, I appreciate our working relationship, because it really does, I think, push both of us to just shoot for the stars and just know that anything is possible.
Yeah.
Right?
It gives us accountability as
Yeah.
well, because like without your fire, I would have dropped this so fast. I would have been like, never mind. It
Right,
really
and-
keeps us accountable, because I don't want to disappoint you, and I know you feel the same way, and the same goes with our music. I want it to be the best.
And without your air, like you're making the connections, you do a lot of the scheduling for our special guests, and I've done a couple here and there, but like for the most part, like you're our mouthpiece. So I'm like, please,
Like the people. Good.
please, thank. Like I do a lot of like the chit chatting with the fans.
Yes, you do.
And like the listeners, I
The
do most
social
of
media
that.
is not
and
my
like
strong suit.
I know. So we each pick up the pieces where the other one lacks, and it works, right?
It does.
Like we've said before, we're a 24-hour business. You got the morning shift, I got the night shift,
That's right.
and we're just the sun and the moon rotating around each other.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
we're never closed. We're open for business all the time. That's maybe not so healthy. I don't know.
Like a 7-Eleven.
Like a 7-Eleven.
We're not always doing business, but we're always open. Okay.
Love it.
A few more. So then we have a challenging aspect with Justina's moon opposing my Neptune. This collaboration could be full of illusions and disappointments. We have had disappointments along the way, haven't we? Yeah. They could find it difficult to understand each other, which we have in the early on stages in this project. Or they might feel they totally understand when they don't. Right? Miscommunications and confusion can be on the agenda in some cases. But if they aim to be very clear and to clear up misunderstandings quickly, they can work around this tendency, which I think is very important. I know we take our time to like cool down, but it really is mostly miscommunication and like just getting the priorities straight, because we both want the same thing. It's just like, okay, we're fighting over how we get there, and we don't need to do that.
No, but I mean, it's bound to happen every now and then. Like at this point, I feel like we're sisters, right? Like siblings fight all the time, and then the next day they're having drinks and being
It's
like,
nothing personal.
Yeah, I love you. Right, exactly. So it just comes with the territory of a working partnership, and when you learn and grow with somebody and you're like working so closely together on a weekly basis, daily basis, you're bound to have a disagreement every now and then. I think that's normal, as long as you're able to resolve it and let each other air their grievances and be open and have the open communication. That's the most important thing.
I just feel very grateful, and I'm gonna get a little soft here.
Oh no.
And blessed that you do have the patience with me, because honestly, I don't feel like I'm a good friend most of the time, and I want to be a good friend, and I'm like, wow, Justina's like really good to me. So, you know, I appreciate you, and we can work through those misunderstandings, you know?
Right.
And it's not all that personal, you know? It's not coming from hatred or what's the word I'm looking for? Vindictiveness or anything like that.
Yeah. I think that's just in my Sagittarian nature. Like, we don't hold grudges unless, like, you've really done some shit to fuck up. Like I let, like, with my friends anyway, like with people who I consider like siblings, sisters from another mister, brother from another mother, like whatever, like those people like will have misunderstandings, and for a minute, like I'm a little hot tempered in the moment. I'll be like, fuck you. Or I'll say fuck you without saying fuck you, but like I'll just like have a minute where like I work from my ego, and then when I take a step back, I'm like, that's really not that serious. And then I just like, and then it's then I let the shit roll off my back, and I'm like, all right, how about we reframe it and we rework it and come at it from a different angle that will appease both of us, you know?
Yeah.
So.
It's all a big misunderstanding.
yeah, exactly.
So we also have your sun is sextile my lunar node, which is, I guess, a positive. I don't know what sextile is, but this says each has confidence in each other. We do. They are made to understand each other and work together, helping one another throughout their endeavors. Simple as pie.
Yeah.
Lastly, your Saturn is sextile my Neptune, which is a positive aspect. Favorable union. Neptune brings vision and creativity to Saturn if it's lacking, and Saturn brings grounding and common sense to Neptune when it's lacking. See that balance, right?
Like I said, one of us picks up where the other one lacks, and vice versa, and that's what makes this such a, I don't know, creative partnership and understanding partnership, and I really like that.
I do too. The other thing I wanted to tackle was a little bit of numerology, because going from season 3 to season 4 has kind of both of our numbers in it. I'm a 3, you're an 8, but when you back that down, that's 2 4s together, right? So, yeah. So before, we're not closing out this episode yet, but in closing, like season 3, I want to take a minute to reflect not just on everything that we've created, but on its energy, the energy behind it. And if you've listened to us long enough, you know that we love a little bit of numerology. And since this is still season 3, it feels only right to talk about the number 3 and what it means for us. And then look ahead to the number 4, which is where we're headed next year in 2026.
And you know how I feel about my 4s.
Yes.
You know what? I just realized last night we were sitting at that bar that I hated, right? And the really loud one, and everybody's kind of like dancing, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm just like zoning out, and there's a TV playing in front of me, and it's like a football game, it's some stupid ass shit. But I think like the player's number was 4, and for like a brief moment, my eyes locked into the TV, and there was like a huge 4 on the screen with like different rows of like 4s, all the way down the screen, and I'm like, whoa.
That's cool. You're gonna like this. Cool. When I went back in to do our compatibility for the astrology, I still had your chart in there, like it, like, oh, this is what you've done in the past, and you can use like a code to like log in. Like if you send it to somebody, you give them the code, and they can also see it. Your code was 444. The fuck up? I'm not kidding. If I can pull it up, I will send you a screenshot. What? Yeah. I was like, that's fucking cool.
Wild.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That is cool. All right, so yes, numerology isn't just numbers, it's story and symbolism. And when you look at the number 3, it's all about expression. It's the number of creativity, communication, and connection. It's the triad of body, mind, and spirit working together. It's that spark when an idea leaves your head and finds its way to the world.
Exactly. It's also a reminder that creativity doesn't happen in isolation. The number 3 wants to collaborate. It says, okay, you've got this idea, now share it, sing it, speak it, paint it, whatever. And I feel like that has been the heartbeat of our season and our podcast as a whole, finally giving form to the ideas that have been simmering for years.
Totally. Like season 3 has been our quote coming into voice season, I think, between all the songwriting and the storytelling, the guests we brought on. It's like the number 3 took a megaphone and was like, hey, Magnolia Street has something to say. And it hasn't just been us talking at people. It's been this like really cool two-way conversation with the community that's formed around this really special space that we've built here.
Agreed. Yeah. It's like we've been standing in the center of this creative triangle, and us and the work and the listeners, and something really alchemical has been happening there, right? 3 is also connected to joy, to play, to the spark of childlike wonder. It reminds you that art doesn't always have to be polished. Sometimes it's a laughter in between takes or that bullshit at the end of our episodes, right? Or at the midnight brainstorming sessions that never make it to the final cut.
Right. It's been a season of expansion, so to speak, of saying yes to things that scared us a little bit, right? Like performing new songs live or bringing guests on that we've admired for years, right? Or letting our conversations get a little bit more personal and raw. And that's that 3 energy, baby. It's big, bright, alive, and sometimes it's a little messy, but I think that's where the magic is. And to go back to what you were saying about not waiting till something is polished to show your work, I think that's the beauty of this podcast, is that in the past, I would have never thought to hop on like a Zoom or something, or put out any work that hasn't been in the studio polished and, cut here, splice there, post-production, like put that facade over it, like letting people hear our work when it's still very raw. It's a very vulnerable thing, but somehow this space is dedicated to that, and I love that we have this to be able to do that.
It is a chronicle of how much we've grown, and I really like that, because as somebody, I try to write everything down, or somebody who takes a lot of pictures, and I've said on here before, like, oh, we should be writing down all these little synchronicities, and you're like, they're here. Our voice is here forever. Aaron said that too the other day, like, you guys are gonna live on in the ether forever. And I'm like, yes we are, dear.
And you said it's aether. Get it right.
Yeah, right.
It's quintessence, Aaron.
It's quintessence, Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah. Now, as we close the door on season 3, we're going to be stepping into 4, and the energy here shifts. 4 in numerology is the builder. It's all about foundation and structure and manifestation. It's where all the creative energy we've been floating in finally takes its shape, and that's so exciting.
How exciting is that? Yeah. I love that. I love that for us. Yes, 4 is that grounding energy. It's also one of my favorite numbers, and it's connected to the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and the 4 directions. And it's the number that says, okay, you've dreamed it, you've spoken it, now let's build it. Like, we've spent so many years creating this foundation, and now I think we're ready to expand.
Don't dream it, be it.
Be it. That's right. In the words of the great Dr. Frank himself.
I know, they're having their 50th anniversary right now.
Oh,
did you see that? There's like special, it'll come up on your TikTok now for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, Tim Curry's like talking about certain things. And this book of unseen photos has come out.
Really?
Amazing. Yes.
I'm going to check that out. I'm going to a shadow casting, I think, next week.
Cool.
We're going to another live shadow casting. So that I'm excited for another. I know. I'm just sad you can't be there, Kristina. You're the rocking horror, buddy.
I know. I'm no
Nobody else
longer a
loves it as
virgin
much as
anymore. I think about that and it was so funny.
I haven't been a virgin for years. Did I tell you about the first Rocky? Oh, I'll tell you later. But
okay, yeah.
First Rocky Horror experience I had was with my mother back when my brother, he played Brad Majors in SCAD when he went.
Okay.
I'll have to tell you about that later. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. But anyway, this structure, it's sturdy, it's balanced, and it's finally able to hold some weight. After the creative whirlwind of season 3, getting our album set and really deciding on the future of Magnolia Street and where the songs are going to be going, season 3, stepping into 4 feels like it's time to pour that solid foundation under everything we've made. And we've been dreaming of the house. Now, let's start laying those bricks.
Yes. And I love that image because it doesn't mean that the creativity goes away. It just means that we're now able to anchor it, right? It's where we start asking, what do we want to last? What do we want to carry forward? And it's about refining systems, right? Maybe we can work on a little bit of stuff on the back end, like, I don't know, maybe finding better equipment or the technical things. Like, we can always improve on that. But then it's also nurturing longevity, creating things that don't just spark once, they stay lit, and that spark is then perpetuating, and hopefully it turns into a full-on blaze, and we just burn the world down and take the world by storm.
I was going to say that 4 also comes with responsibility. So it's going to be like, we're going to have to watch that fire. Somebody's going to have to be tending that fire. And I think that's perfect. Gil. No, us. Yeah. We'll have to, have that responsibility, but it's not in this heavy way. It's in that grounded, intentional way. And it's where we can tend that garden that we planted. For us, that might look like finishing up other projects we started, maybe accepting, hey, maybe the series we started way back there, that's not going to come to anything, and really strengthening the bones of this creative home that we've been building.
Yeah, and 4 says, let's build the bones so the magic has a place to live. I love that. And if you think about it, even in witchcraft or spiritual practice, we call the quarters, right? We honor the 4 directions, the 4 elements, to create a sacred space. And that's literally what season 4 feels like stepping into. It's that creating sacred structure for everything that's yet to come. And that's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. I love that. I love it so much that we're heading into this new season come 2026 because it's such a manifestation year. We spent the last few years dreaming and creating and expanding, and now it's about grounding it, bringing the celestial down to the soil.
And that is so beautifully put. And I like to think of it as this. 3 taught us to dream together, and 4 will teach us to build together.
Exactly. Yeah. So as we kind of close the chapter here on season 3, this wild, creative, expressive, joy-filled chapter, it's our squirrel brains. We're going to be stepping into season 4 with gratitude and intention and a plan.
Yes.
And a spreadsheet.
Always the spreadsheet, right? So here's to building on what we've created and grounding our magic and laying the stones for everything that's still ahead. And we've got quite a lot coming up.
We do. Yeah, 3 really gave us our voice. We found our flow. Stella got her groove, right? And 4 is going to give us our roots, I think.
I love that. So here's to season 4, everybody.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, well, season 3, another one in the books, and now moving on. I can't wait for season 4. And I think, I don't know about you, but my brain's already, well, you know me, my brain's already thinking like 5 steps ahead.
Yes.
So like already planning on like what episodes are we going to kick off season 4 with?
I know.
Like, what is our imagery, aesthetic gonna be for season 4, and like all
the connections, all the guests and the people and the opportunities.
Yeah, we've already been talking to a couple people that hopefully we can get on the show for season 4. That would be a lot of fun, I think. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to get into some spooky stories from our listeners, as well as our favorite spooky moments from season 3. I'll also be debuting a brand new original surprise song for Kristina, and then we're going to tell you all about what we'll be doing during our 2-month hiatus until we return in January. So stay right there, we'll be right back, and during this short break, please enjoy the sounds of the season as we celebrate today with the most romantic Halloween song you will ever hear. Our original song that was inspired by the Practical Magic movie finale. Here is All Hallows Eve by the Stinas, right here on Magnolia Street.
Crime,
listening to the Magnolia Street Podcast.
That was All Hallows Eve by yours truly from our debut EP, Welcome to the Neighborhood, the Magnolia Street Sessions Volume 1, streaming on all platforms and also available for digital download at www.thestinasofmagnoliastreet.bandcamp.com. All right, we have some Patreon stories. I put out an inquiry asking any of our patrons or listeners to give us their spooky tales and stories, since we are pretty much in the thick of spooky season now. I think, does this episode get released on Halloween?
It will be, yes it does. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody. So I think this is the perfect time to get a little spooky with it. What do you think, Kristina?
Let's do it.
I always love a spooky moment on this podcast, and we've had quite a few, right, in our time here on Magnolia Street.
Good ones, yeah.
Very good ones. So I'm going to read a couple of our patron stories now. And this first one comes from Graham's Tales, and Graham's Tales says, we stayed at the Marshall House in Savannah, Georgia. Ooh, Savannah, Georgia. Love me some Savannah.
Spooky.
My brother went to college there, so I spent quite a bit of time in Savannah. So she says, we stayed at the Marshall House in Savannah, Georgia, a known haunted hotel. Set a camera up in the room recording while we were downstairs for the cocktail hour that they put on. Didn't check the camera until the next day. Seems while we were out, you could hear furniture moving. The room had an old wood floor. It sounded like somebody was dragging our desk chair around the floor. It was super loud. If anybody was in the room next door or the next floor down, they definitely would have heard it. Kind of glad I didn't listen to it the night before. That night we took a voice recorder I have up and down the hallways of the 4th floor. There's a number 4. That's supposed to be the most haunted. Didn't catch anything with my ears, but the next day after listening to that, I heard it sounded to me like a cat call. Like, you know, when a guy goes, whoo whoo, right? It's a guy makes a sound at you like a snake, like or something like that. It says European guys do that. I experienced it a lot when I was over there. Too funny.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love the spooky furniture rearrangement. Oh, you froze.
Yes. I wish I had ghosts here to come rearrange my furniture for me. Right. All right. So the next one comes from Alyssa Bach. And Alyssa says, Alyssa wrote into us through our Gmail. And she says, what's up, witches? And happy spooky season. You asked for my spooky story, so here it is. I was born on Halloween, Samhain night, right around...
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Oh, yeah. That's today, right? Right around sunrise, and have always had a connection with the liminal. Thankfully, I've never had a paranormal encounter that was truly terrifying, but I have several experiences that couldn't be explained by practical reasoning. This is but one of them. She says, submitted for the approval of the Magnolia Street Society. Ooh, I like that.
I do too.
I like that. I call this story The Tale of Tilly. Yeah. All right, so now pleasant music. You know how all of those Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes start? It starts off very pleasant and then it turns darker like really fast. My husband and I were house sitting for his parents who were visiting relatives out of the country. We were tasked with the basics. Taking care of their cat, Jerry, and letting him out at night, making sure the mail didn't pile up, and generally keeping an eye on things. The basics. This is when I met Tilly. It happened on a night when I would be home alone. At the time, I was working 2 jobs and taking classes at night in order to complete my master's, so I was particularly tired. The shield I usually keep raised against the strange and unusual of the world wasn't at full capacity. I autopilot ate some ramen, let Jerry out for his nightly prowl, and crawled into bed, and I was asleep instantly. Only to be woken up around 3 a.m., the witching hour, right? By what felt like something walking back and forth near my head. For those of you with cats, you know that distinct pressure of little paws on your pillow. Had Jerry gotten back inside somehow? I switched on the lamp only to find the room empty. And even he was back in the bedroom. The bedroom door was shut. I turned off the light and was attempting to doze off again when the sensation returned. More persistent this time. One occurrence I could chalk this up to was a vivid dream, but another when I wasn't asleep. I threw the blanket off, jumped out of bed, and wandered down the hall to the living room, following the catchy tune of Super Mario Brothers, the underwater level being played on a low volume. That is so random. I guess it was her husband. He said, "Did my game wake you?" Hubby asked guiltily. And she says, "No, but..." And then she said, I explained what had been happening, and a look of recognition flooded my husband's face. He paused the game and turned to me. "That's just Tilly, our old cat," he said. "She's probably curious about you, but if you tell her to stop, she will." So here's a little backstory. So Tilly was Jerry's cat's mom, who had crossed the Rainbow Bridge a few years before her husband and her met. Armed with this knowledge, she says, I went back to bed. I had a long day, and the next would be just as busy. Sure enough, as soon as I'd settle in, the paws on my pillow resumed their pacing. So she said, "Hi, Tilly. Please stop. I need to sleep." And the sensation instantly quit, and it never returned for the rest of the house-sitting stint. But some mornings when I woke up, there would be an indentation on the spare pillow as if something small had been sitting there watching. I just got chills.
Baby, that is so cool. Oh, right? Tilly.
Like or maybe Tilly was astral projecting from Arizona.
That's adorable.
That is adorable.
I do have a spooky tale for you.
Do you?
It's not really a tale. It's a remembering.
Okay.
I was helping my aunt clean out her house, like organize her house, because I was doing like a organizing business. So I was helping her organize, and I decided to sleep over that night and leave the next day, or like organize the next day and then leave. And her home, I remember, just kind of gives me like the weird icky feelings.
Yeah.
She has those dolls that are supposed to like stand in the corner with their faces hidden. Have you seen those?
No.
I'll send you a picture.
Fuck no.
Anyway, I'm going in and out of her house to like the back room. You have to go down this long hallway, and at the very end is her bedroom on one side and the guest room on the other side, where I'll be staying. But I had to go back in this guest room and get some things now and then. Yeah. And I remember opening the door and this ball of energy, like dark energy, going by my face, and I was like enough to like make me go, whoa, like was that a bird? And I'm looking around and nothing's there. This happened 3 more times. Anytime I would go in after that, I would kind of be like, I'm coming in, not loud enough that she could hear me, and go in and like avert my eyes. I felt like I should not be looking around.
Oh my God.
Don't look at anything. Guess where I had to sleep that night?
Oh my God.
I slept with the light on eventually. So I'm getting ready to go to bed, not thinking anything of it. I get changed. I lay down. There's a desk next to me with a computer on it. The lights are off. I'm getting ready to go to bed. All of a sudden, this concert starts playing. What? I'll just say like a Celine Dion concert, because I don't know. This music starts playing out of the computer, and I'm like, what the fuck? I've been laying here for 45 minutes. Like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
So I get up, I turn the lights on, I go to the computer, kind of like wake it up, and I shut it down.
Yeah.
Go to the light, turn the light off, lay back down. I'm trying to fall asleep, and it's like dark that you can't see your hand in front of your face, kind of dark. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's for the best. Just fucking go to bed.
Oh my God.
When I tell you, the computer turned back on. It started whirring, and it was like one of those towers that you could hear the fan going. It was like, and I was like, nope. I unplugged it.
Oh my God.
I turned the light on. I slept in the full bright ass room. I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, this house is fucking haunted. I did not stay there the second night. But I just remember the computer concert turning on, needing to be heard, and then me shutting it down, like shut down.
Yeah.
Blank. And then minutes later, it whirs back to life. And I'm like, no!
Wait, did it turn on after you unplugged it?
No, not after I unplugged it.
That would have freaked me the fuck out, like that happened.
Yeah. I remember her house is very spooky.
That is wild.
Let me find a picture of one of these dolls that like have their faces hidden. I don't know why you would have one of these in your house.
I don't know if I want to see it. I don't know if I ever told you my doll experiences as a kid. Like, I just did not like dolls. And for some reason, my mom had a lot of creepy ones. Because her grandmother, my great-grandmother, my nana, she collected porcelain dolls. So my mom would, I guess, inherit all these dolls. My great-grandmother would just like give her porcelain dolls every now and then. She just like had these porcelain dolls, right? Yeah. So she would like put them in my room, and I fucking hated them. Yeah. And this one doll wasn't a porcelain doll, but it was just like, I don't know, somebody gave it to me as a gift or something. And it was one of those dolls, like, you know, that the eyes flutter, like they move.
Uh-huh.
You know those dolls?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like dolls with the eyes like that, and I would put it in my garage because I didn't want it in my room.
Yeah.
And my mom would always put it back in my room. And I'm like, I don't want this fucking doll in my room.
Yeah.
I hate dolls. And I don't know, like, I guess, like, you know, some people have like fears of, no. They look like kids. They look like children.
Exactly.
Ew.
It was just, why did you have something like that? Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Like, I guess, like, some people have fears of clowns. I guess mine has always been dolls. Like, I just never liked dolls. And I remember growing up, did I ever tell you this story? I had a friend that lived across the street from me. Her mom worked at Stearns. Do you remember Stearns? Like it was like a Macy's or like a Nordstrom's. Okay. Yeah. Like back in the 90s, Stearns was like a big department store, and her mom worked at a Stearns. And it was around, I think it was around like Christmas time, and they had like all like the holiday decor and stuff. And I guess when the holidays were over, any of the store employees were allowed to take home whatever decor, like I guess the store was trying to get rid of. So there were these court jester dolls, like life size. I'm talking like, I'm a kid at this point, like as probably taller than me.
Ooh.
And her mom had it just like hanging out on the couch in the living room downstairs, and I was like this creepy fucking evil looking court jester, supposed to be a Christmas doll, but I did not like this fucking doll because clearly I have this bad relationship with dolls. You know, and we're trying to go to sleep or whatever. I don't remember, it was so long ago, I was like 8 years old, so I don't remember if my friend was telling me like the doll's gonna like come up and like kill us or something.
No, don't do that.
I remember it might have been edging me on.
Yeah.
Because she knew I was afraid of dolls.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. Lived right across the street from me, right?
Right.
So I made my mother, mind you, cell phones didn't exist back in the day. So in order to get in touch with my mother, I had to call the home phone, which is like ringing throughout the entire house, probably waking everybody up. And I called my mother and I was like, I don't want to sleep over Lauren's house anymore. Oh. And she's like, it's 2 a.m. Just go to sleep or whatever. And she's like yelling at me, and I'm like, Mom, you don't understand. There's just a fucking doll, and there's a court jester doll downstairs, and it's gonna come upstairs and kill me.
He's like, go to bed.
So Dee had to waddle her ass across the street in her bathrobe to get me from our neighbor's house and bring me back home because the doll murdered me.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, so I will never forget that. And like, I've always hated dolls. I've always hated them.
I need to switch my Wi-Fi because it's lagging and I don't know why it's on the other one. So hang on real quick. Okay.
All right.
I was like freaking myself out. I was like, this is so weird. Why are we having such like connection issues this episode? Just getting spooky. I'm like, oh, my Wi-Fi is not on the right one.
Speaking of connection issues, we're going to talk about some spooky instances that happened on this very show in a minute. But before we talk about that, I also want to acknowledge this. The veil is at its thinnest right now. So this past month, I went to my cousin. She had a birthday party and like one of her friends hosted it. So it was hosted at her friend's house. I've never been to Stephanie's house. Everybody was outside, you know, around the bonfire having a good old time. It was the first instance that I went inside and nobody was in there. Nobody at all. Because like the party was kind of dwindling down. Mm-hmm. And I had just gone in to go to the bathroom and to get some water. And I'm going to the bathroom and, you know, everything's fine. I go to wash my hands and I feel like somebody is like over my left shoulder. So I just like went like this and nothing was there, but like I just felt like something was.
The feeling was strong enough to make you go, whoop.
Yeah, I went like that. I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, okay, you're out of your mind, just fucking brush it off. It's nothing's there. Just go get your water. So I went into the kitchen to get my water. And as you know, I'm filling up, you know, my cup with the ice and still nobody's inside. And the lights fucking flicker. And I got straight on chills. I'm like, who the fuck is there? And I just like quickly got my water and I got the fuck out.
Do you
and
think somebody did that on purpose?
No, nobody was inside. Nobody was inside. The kitchen was so small. Like I would have seen somebody flick the light. Nobody was in there.
Okay.
And the lights just went you. And I'm just like, did I just see that? Am I feeling things? Am I seeing things? Like what the fuck? Like oddly enough though, no clear audience. I didn't hear, nobody said anything. I just felt the feeling over my left shoulder and the lights flickered. And you know my track record with the lights flickering.
Yeah, girl. Yes, yeah.
So I knew, I was like, somebody's here and I don't know who the fuck it is, because I don't know anything about this girl other than like, I know her mother passed away. I don't know if she passed in the house. I don't want to say anything either because I don't want to be that asshole, be like, hey, your mom's haunting your house.
Right.
I'm saying hi, but like, I don't know her like that, so I don't want to say anything. But I just was like, the rest of the night, I was like, I feel weird going in the house.
Oh, man.
He has 2 cats, so like, I was like, well, if there was something in the house, like maybe the cats would pick up on it, but like, I don't know.
Maybe.
But it was
How
very weird. And then later on, like, I asked Avi, I was like, were you in that house at any point by yourself tonight? He's like, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. And I was like, did you feel anything, or did the lights flicker for you or anything like that? And he's like, no.
No.
So I'm like, all right.
You're on your own, kid.
This is very fucking weird. But I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything to anybody because I didn't want to be like, hey, Steph, your house is fucking haunted, and then like leave. I don't know her that well, so I don't want to like put that in her brain. But like,
that's pretty spooky.
Isn't it weird?
What spooky things have we had on the show? Are you talking about Alan? Alan's episode?
Remember the Alan Silvestri episode?
That was weird.
That was so fucking weird.
Michael Nyman astral projected to fuck with that episode.
Oh my god. Let's just roll the clip.
I'm kind of freaking out right now. Our Alan Silvestri thing finally finished converting. And I open it and it says 14 hours and 52 minutes. Okay. So I'm like, all right, maybe it like continued recording after we hung up. But then I open it and I see, okay, like maybe like it was getting stuff beforehand. No. I don't know what this is. Hold on. This is such a strange file. So... like, what the fuck? This has never happened before. I don't know what this is. Okay, so there's that one. And then there's a 5-hour one, Justina's audio. My heart's kind of like pounding right now. And then there's a 14-hour. You have 2, which is so strange. A. B. They're 14 hours. That's not right. That's why it was taking so long to convert. I'm really fucking confused. Not gonna lie, I'm a little freaked out. Okay, yours started to pop up. All right, that's that one. And then it looks like this little short one has, but I'm assuming it's fucking gibberish. Don't know what happened, so I'm gonna try to see if it will let me convert it again. I don't know. I'll take a deep breath. Delete that scary shit. Delete. And we're gonna just try to convert it again.
Oh my god. That's horrifying. The growling? What is that? The good news is I have everything on my end except for like the intro that I wasn't recording, but so the good news is I have it. But what the fuck was that?
I don't know. What? 3 years of doing this. 3 years of doing this. Could it be because I paid for like the unlimited thing? Something got messed up, but it's fine on your end. What the fuck? I'm heating up dinner. I don't know what to do. It's so weird. Spiro's like, don't you pit Alan Menken, Alan Silvestri, and Michael Nyman against each other. Don't you dare. It's so strange. I'm sorry that the intro, I'll keep trying. I'm going to plug a little bit of the Marco in so our listeners can hear like, hey, there was a bit more at the beginning, but we had Beelzebub, Asmodeus,
Lucifer, visit.
So you remember what happened, right?
I do.
You were trying to export the episode to send it to me so then I could edit some stuff. I don't remember.
It was taking forever to export. And then when it finally did, it was a 40-hour audio file. And I was like, what the fuck?
Very strange.
And then upon playing it, we got the crazy noises. And I was by myself. And I marcoed you, hoping you would be like, it's okay. It's just technical difficulties. And you were like, oh my God, you're being haunted. And I'm not even now. You're just feeding into my paranoia.
Oh my God. But that's just like one of the few. I mean, we've had that whole Pineapple Geist experience when we were doing the Griffin episode like last season, right?
Yeah.
And then remember we did that Instagram live where it kept freezing on us. We couldn't even say the word Pineapple Geist without the shit freezing. And it was just wild. And then I think it was, I don't remember if it was our Hecate episode. We did an episode recently where you asked me,
oh,
you remember, you know what I want to say?
I think so.
Yeah,
what happened?
It might have been our necromancy episode.
You were talking about your grandma Joan.
Yes. We were talking about, you were asking like who I feel, if once you get to the other side after you die, who would be the first you would want to greet you? And I said Grandma Joan. And then after I said that, some like technical glitch was like,
Yes.
And we were like, what the fuck is that? And I was like, go, Grandma Joan.
Somebody posed the question, probably on TikTok, that if everyone you've ever lost was in a room, and you cross over, if you believe in that, who are you going to first? Who are you going to go hug first? And that is like, that's a hard choice. I know who I would go to, but think about that. Like all of the people who have passed, like who would you go to first?
Probably my Grandma Joan.
Yeah. Grandma Joan.
No, ifs and or buts. I mean, is that me or you? Do you hear that?
I do hear that.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know. I'm not on the keyboard or anything.
Neither am I. That was
Is
weird.
it spirit trying to communicate?
Oh my God, that's Grandma Joan!
Grandma Joan!
I was like, I'm here, bitch. Pour me
what
up.
was that? I don't know what that was.
That's so funny. Anyway, what were we talking about? I don't even remember what we were just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would go, the first person I would probably go to is... She said, yes, yes,
yes,
you.
honey.
Yes, honey. Yeah. So that was Grandma Joan coming through. Like, I got you, girl. Once you get here, just, Yeah. I haven't had too much clairaudience this season, but I think that's just because we're so overworked and burnt out, and I'm just like, I'm ready for a break. But
we are pre-recording this before Halloween, so I bet you once this is wrapped and like your brain is just gonna go, and then the radio is gonna go up to 11.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and then we'll have to do a Patreon special and just dump it all on there.
Yes, I love that idea.
Right. Yeah. So what's next on the docket here?
I want to talk about our favorite musical moments, maybe chat about our future project if you want to, just ideas.
Yes.
And then we're going to just let the listeners know what Magnolia Street's going to be doing while it's sleep, or what we're going to be doing while Magnolia Street is sleeping in our off season.
I like that. All right, let me go grab that book because I think it's in the other room.
Because I'm getting hungry. Well, I wanted to ask you, because I said what my favorite episode was. What was your favorite episode this season?
Let me take a look at the list because there's so many.
There's so many.
I know. All right, let me look.
Yeah, another good one was the Anamoya was good. The Crow, the Magus, the Autumn Gardening one. I'm glad we fit in some gardening stuff.
I would have to say, other than connecting with Becky Hartman Edwards, because that's just like monumental. Loved that. I would have to say the rattlesnake weed episode was hysterical.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was so funny and unexpected because we had already done the snake episode at that point. And we're like, how much more juice can we get out of the snake topic? Hello, a whole other 3-hour, 4-hour fucking plus episode.
Yeah.
So the snakeweed, and on top of that, the whole Pentecostal snake handler thing.
Hilarious.
So fucking funny to talk about. So I think that episode, our mega roast was a lot of fun. That one was so funny, and obviously our album release special, because that's just such a what's the
momentous occasion.
Yeah, that was a momentous occasion, and it just felt very accomplished. You know,
we leveled up.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. So I think those three are probably battling it out.
Well,
but as far as research, I would have to say the Magus was also one of my favorites, and Necromancy.
Well, bouncing off what you said about our music, let's talk about like some musical moments where we plugged in the song-episode things, but we have so many other songs that I can't wait. I'm surprised we didn't do more song-episodes this season, but what are some little snippets maybe we can share, a little teaser of maybe like 3 more songs to come next season?
Right.
Do you want to share any of those?
Yeah, Baby Believe Me.
I was just looking at that one.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Baby Believe Me is going to be on the docket.
Baby Believe Me is fun. I'm flipping through this, and like we've done a lot of these already.
We have.
We did that one. We did that. Hey Jimmy, and that, surprisingly enough, was like the very first song that I kind of finagled with for this project. So it's interesting that we haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Man Under the Roses. Was that?
Man Under the Roses. We got What Love Is Like.
What Love Is Like. My Darling Girl.
We did have an unsanctioned kind of song-episode this year, which was Let's Go Together. You got your lyrics.
One night I saw you in the mirror. You whispered leave, I only grinned. You lit a candle and I drew nearer. And now I'm breathing mortal skin. Let's go together to the shower, to the brunch, to CVS. Let's go together every hour, even in your dreams it cannot rest. Let's go together, don't resist me. I'm in your breath, I'm in your town. Let's go together till you fix me and burn that phantom down. Ha, ha. Great. Red boots, I haunt your closet. You bathe in salt, I taste the sea. You sleep alone, don't lie, I saw it. I'm right there haunting by your knee. You brought me back, my Jillian darling. That spell is not a toy, you see. You played with death, and now I'm calling. Forever starts with me. Let's go together to your dentist, to your bed, to brunch, to scream. Let's go together, existential. You called a haunted every dream.
Jimmy moans in Bulgarian, accordion wailing, bones rattling. I love that.
Wear that dress, I see the hem. You drink, I rattle your stem. You talk of walk, I join the breeze. You light each match, I am the flame.
Did not rhyme.
You try to run, I'm at the door. Your aunties chant, I laugh some more. I am the curse, you called out loud. You wear me like a heavy shroud. Let's go together to the airport. The candle shops, the seance halls. Let's go together. Just a clingy ghost who falls. Let's go together, my Jillian honey. I'm in your lipstick, in your size. Let's go together, laughing sunny. And when the dead man never died.
And then I should have left it because I was like, I don't know how to. Which is actually going to it's had some attention, but like it's on our list now to actually create a song, like a Jimmy reprise called "Let's Go Together." That's in there too.
I like that. But I had a song that I wanted to maybe debut today, and then we could do a song-episode for it at a later point.
Cool.
But I really wanted to give you this surprise.
Okay.
Because...
I'm ready.
All right. I would get my guitar, but it's in the other room. But I did record a demo.
Awesome.
So I'll just play that for you here. I would like to debut to you this song called No Chill, Irene.
Shut up! Okay.
Okay. So this obviously is from the aunt's perspective. Okay.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
Irene, is that you tapping at the back door? Irene, another broken heart, you're always back for more. We just turned out the light, but you never knew how to read between the lines. It's the middle of the night. We keep on raising our prices because she'll never get the hint. He'll never leave his wife for her. There is no magic spell or potion strong enough to satisfy. No chill, Irene. Irene, we really think that you need a doctor. We can't keep on killing doves in the hopes you land in John Proctor. But we're not here to question ethics, 'cause money talks. So if you think you're skeptical, this is no refundable. We keep on raising our prices because she'll never get the hint. He'll never leave his wife for her. There is no magic spell or potion strong enough to satisfy. No chill, Irene. She's out there wrecking homes. She's here to give us names. She's paid us a pretty penny for that no good man to never change. Don't say we didn't warn ya. Be careful what you wish for. But she'll never learn. Irene is always back for Irene, is that you tapping at the back door? Irene, is that you? Is that you? Is that you? We keep on raising our prices because she'll never get the hint. He'll never leave his wife for her. There is no magic spell or potion strong enough to satisfy. No chill, Irene. She's here still, Irene. She's back again,
Oh, yeah.
Irene.
Oh my god. That's going in the lineup.
Yeah.
I love it so, so much.
Yeah.
So funny.
Would you like clarification on any of the lyrics? Because I know it's like hard to hear, like, you know, while I'm playing into the recorder.
Read me the second verse.
Okay, so it's Irene, we really think that you need a doctor. We can't keep on killing doves in the hopes you land your John Proctor. So it's like a nod to the Crucible, and like, you know how Abigail was like this, like, yeah. So she's like, she had this affair with a married man, you know, Abigail.
I fucking love it so much. I put it in the lineup there because I'm just picturing them gathering their things and moving around the kitchen and like pulling the shade closed on the door, but Irene knocks and the thing goes back up.
Yeah. And then the pre-chorus to that second verse is, we're not here to question ethics, but money talks. So if you think you're skeptical, this is non-refundable.
That is amazing. I can't wait to start back with the music.
Right?
What a good way to start it off. Thank you.
That song just like flooded out of me. I got out of the shower one day and like I had the scene in my head, and then I also like the melody was like Irene da tapping at the back door, and I was like, okay, I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down.
So catchy.
Yeah. Right?
I love it, Jess. It's so cool.
And I'm like imagining like that scene like on a stage with like little doves, like people dressed up as doves flying around just getting stabbed by the odds.
Can you imagine like running and tackling one like the odds trying to catch him out of thin air?
Just trying to
It's
kill
so
all
funny.
Yeah, isn't it?
I'm too hot for this. This is so funny.
I
love it. Over our break, we did want to dive into the scripts for Patreon if possible, but it's really going to be some downtime. I'm trying to finish up my book that I'm writing. It's a process. I wanted to read to you the synopsis, like the back cover.
Okay.
So the cover, I'm picturing a asylum hallway. Some doors open, some doors close. It's called Echoes in the Marsh. And the floor is going to be covered in like marsh water and duckweed. And then like the title is going to be the spaces in the duckweed. Like it's going to be taken out of it. So I think that's
okay. That's cool.
So my goal is to have it done, like edited and everything by spring. Cause I'm just going to make sure this gets out there. But here's the synopsis. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. When Theodora arrives in Georgia, her new job as secretary at Roe Memorial Psychiatric Hospital seems like a necessary detour. Drawn to the rhythms of the South and the quiet and not so quiet demands of the patients, Theo begins to hear things she can't explain, feel things she thought she'd buried long ago. And in the stillness, a voice calls to her, Eddie. As she tries to carve out a place for herself, she meets Dr. Sullivan Walker, sharp-eyed, seasoned, and nearly twice her age. His voice cuts through the noise in her head, offering a strange kind of clarity. She tells herself to keep her distance until she doesn't. The more she begins to trust him, the more the past begins to surface, and not all of it is hers. As the line between memory and reality blurs, Theo must decide if she's losing her grip, or uncovering a truth long kept silenced in the mud, the moss, and the mouths that never dared to speak. A Southern Gothic exploration of grief, madness, forbidden connection, and the echoes that follow us. An Echo in the Marsh is a slow burn for those who know that in places like Roe, nothing is ever just what it seems, and what haunts you might not be a ghost at all.
Ooh.
Spooky! See, it's a little spook to it.
That sounds spooky and juicy.
And sassy.
And yeah. A little scandalous, maybe?
A little bit of scandal in there.
Yes. Scandal in there.
I'm very excited.
You've talked briefly before on this podcast, I can't remember specifically what episode, but about your time working in a facility like that.
Yeah. And
you're drawing from your own experience, right?
I wanted to tell those stories. I just wrote out all the factual stories and kind of connected them with fiction. But when we're used to hearing about like psychiatric hospital stories, I feel like the staff kind of always gets a bad rap. And I wanted to share my experience from the other side of the counter, so to speak.
Okay.
So putting that out there in the universe and sharing what happened, as well as, this Dr. Sullivan Walker is not fictitious either. So the part that this person played on me too.
Right. I'm excited. You did show me like a little snippet of one of the chapters that you were working on a while ago via Marco messages, and the imagery and the way that you captured the essence of like actually working in a space like that is really fascinating, and I can't wait to read the.
Oh, thank you. I would love for you to read it and be a beta reader and like really be like, bitch, that does not make sense. Take that out. Yeah,
of course. Right.
Are you going to be working on yours at all?
I don't know if I'll be working on, because like I write here and there, and like my stuff is like always so fragmented. Like I'll have this sudden burst of inspiration where I'm like, I need to write a chapter or whatever. But then, something else, I'm a ADHD squirrel, as you know, and like something else catches my eye or ear, and like then I start working on something else. But I think during our downtime, which isn't, I don't think, going to really be much downtime, because a lot of it's going to be planning season 4, right?
Yes,
and getting everything, all our ducks in a row for that, lining up interviews, working on the aesthetics and, you know, all that stuff. But I really do have it on my list to start the process for putting our music from digital format into something more physical that people can purchase, like with a CD or vinyl. Like, I know we have a lot of inquiries for something like that. So that would be one of the things on my top priority list to get that going. So hopefully by January, by the time season 4 kicks off, maybe we'll have something ready to sell, some kind of physical merchandise.
We also are trying to put together a stage deck. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called.
Like our calling card or a media press for all these other projects.
Yeah, press kits. We want to send some things out to people.
Press kits.
We haven't really promoted the album too much outside of the podcast, which I think is important. Like, you know, I know like numbers aren't everything and who cares how many fucking people end up listening to that album, but I mean, like we worked on it for a while and we put a lot of hard work into it. So it would be nice for people to be able to hear it. It's not just gonna be easy to do that by it just sitting on Spotify and not getting some kind of, you know, sending it to press outlets and getting media coverage and doing interviews with other people on their podcasts and, like, you know, doing like our press junket, like a press tour for the album would be something that I would love to do and set up. And, you know, that takes time to email people and places to do that, which we don't have time outside of doing the podcast to do that. So while we have the time off, I'd like to reach out to some people to maybe cover it, you know, write about it.
Having that physical piece, that album or the vinyl to send to like Coopville Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Salem shops that specialize in, you know, the more practical magic side of things. Like, we did this. We would love if you could have this in your shop, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And that's one other thing, like when I played that show at Crimson Calamity this past month, like it really gave me the itch again to get back out there and start playing shows and connecting with people. And I would really love it to travel to different places and places that maybe just witchy shops, maybe practical magic inspired shows or conventions or whatever. Like there's that practical magic prom that the Junk Gypsies do. Did you see that? That looked really cool. And I think we were talking to them through DMs and stuff like that. And then there was like a mobile book shop that we were just talking to, and we're trying to do a collab with something like that. So it'll be really cool to kind of explore all of our options and ways that we can promote the music, because I think that's like the next thing that's really, like, we put the album out digitally and that was great, but it kind of fell by the wayside. So we want to bring it back into people's
it was in the middle of season 3 when we're still trying to finish out the show, and
I know it was hard to do both at once, right? But now that we have a little bit of time, I think now's the time. Now is the hour. Ours is the magic. Ours is the power. And now it's the time to give it the attention it deserves, I think, and really getting it out in front of more people and trying to, you know, do that press and get those physical merchandise things made up. So that's on my list. That's on my to-do list.
We want to, before wrapping this up, if there's more you want to talk about, we can, but I want to know what you guys want to hear in season 4, because we do try to get it in a calendar at the beginning of the season. You know, guests, we are shooting for the stars. We would love to have Sandra Bullock and Griffin Dunn. We really would love to, but we can't do it on our own. So if you know somebody who knows somebody and can get the connection, please let us know. Or if you just want to write us in and share your spooky story later on, or how practical magic touched your life, we love hearing about all of that.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be a really fun and interesting season 4. I'm excited.
For grounding, putting the roots down, maybe savoring those things we planted last season.
Yeah, I think that's going to be awesome. And I am, though, really excited, though, to just take a break. I think we're both exhausted. Me too. Down to this episode, I feel like I'm just, like, dragging my heels. Like, do we have to record one more? But, I mean, once we're here, I know, like, it's fine. But it's just, like, getting to the table that it's like, okay,
and then
fine,
there's the editing.
One more. I know, and then now it's the editing and going back to past episodes and pulling clips from what what we're talking about. But just everybody know that we're still here and we love doing what we're doing, and we wouldn't still be here if we didn't. And there's still so much more to come. We still have a lot of more shit to talk about, especially with Practical Magic 2 coming out next year around this time, right?
A lot of more shit.
A lot of more shit, a lot of more music, a lot of more Practical Magic 2. We're going to have a whole other movie to tear apart and analyze and critique.
That's right.
So that's going to be fun. And then, yeah, just seeing where the topics take us then.
That's right. Wanted to do a quick thank you to all of our patrons over on Patreon, including our free members. We do give free goodies over there, but Graham's Tells, Joey K, Celestial Jewel, Brittany Rose, Tash, Alexandra, Mallory, Christian, Lisette, Lori, D, your mom, Peace Love Dogs, Summer, Donna, and Couch Sprite. Thank you for sticking around through season 3. We really appreciate all of your support.
Do you realize you just said Summer and Donna? Like, Summer Donna. You remember that SNL skit? Summer Donna. No.
Put it in here. Pop it in.
Summer Donna. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
And everybody else who was there along the way. And join, cancel anytime you want, and we will be here regardless.
I was going to say something else and now I can't fucking remember.
Let us know what you want us to explore next season. Leave us a comment, leave us a rating, and we will be back in 2026.
I think what I was going to say was that can we get a collective one more time for the road till season 4? Demons?
Yeah.
Do it. We're just going to end the episode on this. Demons!
At the house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street where the wisteria grow wild? At the house of magic and mystery, so would you go down to Magnolia Street?
Like, as they're funny in the moment editing,
I like
put that in a folder.
I like that idea. We should do that because it's always like, oh, what did we talk about? I don't know. All right, I need deodorant and I gotta pee.
Me too.
I gotta eat.
All right, man.